It's Friday, then it's Saturday, Sunday.
This is on you!
Tell us what we want to hear.
We need your help.
We're gonna give it to him.
Just Anthony. He's gonna get it all.
Let's get nasty on a Friday. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. You are not hearing things. We are doing a Freedom Friday, not on the...
Why? Why today?
Why, Carey? Because you can't even be here for a Friday. Like, come on.
Well, just me? Because
maybe more.
So we are going to do a Freedom Friday today. This was totally impromptu. We did not plan on doing this today, but Jamie came up with the idea of why don't we do the Freedom Friday now? Because not only is Jamie out next Friday, which is technically when we do the Freedom Friday, it's the last Friday of the month.
I thought
Carey,
Jamie is out because he's missed a bunch of Freedom Fridays.
Yes.
Shut your face, okay?
So Jamie's out next Friday. Carey is out next Friday. Andrew Marsh is out next Friday. It'll be me, Bradford Bruns, and who knows? So, instead of doing a Freedom Friday when nobody can participate outside of myself, we decided to do the Freedom Friday today. We know that we didn't prepare you, but we also know that you're coming locked and loaded with plenty of topics.
Carey Davis as well. He's more than ready for the show today.
Yeah.
Why don't we start off Freedom Friday with what happened with you guys coming in?
You guys, one of my pet peeves is people that get in the fast lane and just don't go fast. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're in the left lane,
the actual fast lane.
Respectfully, get over. It's actually the passing lane. People are trying to pass. Mm-hmm. So I'm driving into work today, and I'm in the passing lane, and I'm driving past a few cars on the right side. Then a truck just kind of stops and slows down in front of me. And I am going, I'm like, what the fast lane are you doing? I'm shaking my head. What is this idiot's problem? And so I get over to try to go around this truck, and the truck speeds up. And so now I'm like, the moment if I can get in front of you, I'm going to stop, and we're going to fight on the highway. I am enraged. So he's speeding up, and I'm trying to go past him. And then the truck slows down, and he looks over, and he gives me the finger. And it's Jamie Rivers laughing.
It was beautiful. Carey and I live in the same area-ish, like probably like 5 minutes from each other.
Yes.
And so we're coming down 364 to the to 270.
Yeah.
I see in the distance a black Tesla with the gold markings, black and gold, of course, on character for Carey.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think that's Carey. It's got to be Carey. Now, mind you, if it wasn't, I was still willing to risk it at that point. I didn't care. So I slowly get into the fast lane, and I just take my foot off the gas. And the car comes down. It's like 47 miles an hour. I
was livid, Anthony.
I look in my mirror, and Carey Davis's head is like shaking. Like it's almost coming off the shoulders at this point.
I was like, I'm going to kill this person.
So he gets in the other lane. As soon as he does, I hammer the gas and like just matching his speed enough.
Just enough to take him off even more.
I was livid.
We've all been there. Where it's,
I'm like, you're doing this intentionally, aren't you? Okay.
It's on.
Then he sees me lean over and give him the bird.
That's
and
incredible.
laughing, and so I'm like, Jamie. Okay.
So your day started off right.
Yeah,
Carey has no idea. I couldn't breathe. I was laughing so hard in my truck. It was unreal.
When I realized it was him, I couldn't stop laughing either. And I was like, okay.
I want to see the moment that Carey's face when he looks over.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Because I'm driving. I'm looking. I'm like, and I like to see his finger. I was like, okay. All right.
Oh, man. It was a great way to get the Friday going.
There you go.
Carey, you're welcome.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Got my day going.
That'll get him going. All right. So, Marsh, I don't know if we've given you enough time to peruse some of the Freedom Friday topics, but if we haven't, just throwing it out there again. The Air Comfort Service text line is 314-399-9646. So if you want to share any sort of topics with us, you can send it to the Air Comfort Service text line. Or if you want to, do it via the Snake Pit, you can. That's the Air Alliance Team YouTube channel at 101 ESPN STL.
Yeah, we got a text from the 573. The Cardinals should sign Jason Hayward for the remainder of the season.
Oh, God.
I don't think that's a good idea, but I do want to bring up the fact that he did say that he didn't want to be in St. Louis because of the veterans who wouldn't be there. And it turned out that they ended up playing in St. Louis longer than he was in Chicago. I just found that to be quite funny, but it would be on brand for the Cardinals to bring back a former Cardinal to put even more of an obstacle for the other guys who are playing the outfield.
What did I say yesterday when I saw that Hayward had been released? I said, he'll be a Cardinal.
He's a left-handed back,
Again?
fellas. We need a right-handed back to play the outfield.
Right.
That
Yeah,
can
but we
be
just
here
lost
for 3
the Crawdaddy.
days. Well, you know what? When you're right, you're right. Nolan Gorman isn't here. You got a couple of. You might need a left-handed back.
Where do things like if the Cardinals are going to list their priorities, right? Where is right-handed bat compared to former Cardinal that wants to be here? Because I think former Cardinal that wants to be here is number one.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as long as Hayward wants to be here, he's already got the former Cardinal.
You think they can teach him how to bat right-handed?
I don't think it matters. Again, it's about priorities.
Kerry, he may not even play. It doesn't matter. We've seen the whole.
We have seen this.
As long as he's a good leader in the locker room.
True.
He did do. Now, granted, he did give a speech that propelled them to win the World Series in Chicago. Right? They talked about that. How important that speech was for his team. Even though he wasn't playing or playing well, he gave the team. So you know what? I'm on board. Bring him back. Here, all we need is somebody willing to give a speech.
Yeah.
Because we hear this every day. Ollie's job is to stand up there and motivate the team every day. Well, sometimes you don't got it. The manager, you need a former player that has done it at the level. Championship player. Come give this team a speech. Damn it, we're going to win from here on out.
So I think he comes in and you sit Victor Scott. I mean, let's get rid of all the young guys.
What? I was saying I had the same thought. You don't even have to sit them. You just make sure you send them down to Memphis.
Back down. You don't need him.
He can play down there every day.
You want the veterans. Scott's a left-handed bat.
Yep.
Hayward comes in. It's an easy swap.
Outfielder for outfielder.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Okay.
I like it.
I'm on board.
So I think we figured that out. I think the Cardinals are going to make Jason Hayward their next target, and why not? After the Dodgers released him. Marsh, what else you got?
From the 314, Jordan Bennington is once again Blues MVP this year. That is from Justin. Do you guys agree with that, or do you think someone else will step up and be that type of guy for the Blues, maybe a Robert Thomas?
I still think Jordan Bennington is going to be the guy. I mean, watching him last year get prepared for the season and then watching him throughout the entire season and the way he attacked everything, this dude is dialed in. He is dialed in. Saw him just a couple weeks ago. Binner was at the Creed concert. So got to see him there. He's enjoying the show. He's friends with some of the Finger 11 guys. And so we were just talking and going over the offseason, and he is dialed in. Just had a baby. So he's a dad. He's a new dad.
Yeah.
It's going to be a
Congratulations.
lot. You know that feeling, too, when you become a dad for the first time.
Yes.
Like, stuff gets real. Now it's real.
It's scary.
It's more about, now it's no longer just you.
Yeah.
Or your wife or your girlfriend. It's the baby.
Yeah.
In fact, it's less about you guys, more about the child. Because what kind of legacy can I leave for this child? And
Sure.
I expect him to have a fantastic season. There's a lot of things on the line. I know he wants to play on the Four Nations team with Team Canada. I know he wants to be on the Olympic team. He wants to get this team back into the playoffs. He'd love to win another Stanley Cup. There are a lot of things that motivate Jordan Bennington, and they're all to do with team success. So I'm sorry, Robert Tom's going to have a heck of a year, but I think if the Blues get into playoffs, it's going to be because Jordan Bennington's once again playing at an MVP level.
And hopefully they've solved the defensive issues in front of him, because that has been the biggest problem. It hasn't been Jordan Bennington, although I think some Blues fans feel otherwise, because a lot of times they're looking at either the mistakes that he does make, or they just simply look at the results. You know, it's like watching the quarterback constantly, and he takes a sack and it's like, hey, held on the ball too long. Well, you don't see the rest of the defense. Every guy was covered, and if he was going to throw it, it'd probably be a pick. Like, he's not trying to make a mistake in that spot.
Unless it's Kirk Cousins.
Unless it's Kirk Cousins.
He's been hot on Kirk. You want to tell your story about?
No. We'll get into that a little bit later on.
You can tell us later.
Yeah, I was watching quarterback last night, and I texted you guys.
Anthony basically said Kirk Cousins is Jordan Bennington.
I definitely did not say that.
You heard it.
You drew that comparison, which I didn't appreciate.
Actually, you know what? I thought that's exactly, because one of his favorite moments in Blues history was when Jordan Bennington, they won the game. He skated off stone face, didn't say anything.
It's my favorite moment in Blues history.
Kirk Cousins.
After Maroon scores the goal, and Jordan Bennington gives the tap to the poles, and then out.
No emotion. It's just business.
What did he tap?
He tapped the
post?
The post.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought I heard something different.
You did.
I said pulse.
This was not a Richard Ferguson
to tap the
type
pole.
thing.
Yeah.
You definitely heard what you heard.
I said pulse. The post.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I just,
And then skated away.
yeah.
And then you try to draw that same comparison to a moment that Kirk Cousins had, which I thought was hurtful and disrespectful.
But accurate.
Not
was
accurate
pretty
at all.
accurate.
But no, the moment accurate.
Not at all.
Anthony,
Talking about regular season
if I put truth
versus
serum in that
game
water bottle.
7 of the second round. I mean, come on.
But
That
now,
was a playoff environment though that they played in.
E2 Brute. Anyways, Bennington's going to be fantastic.
he's going to be great.
And the defense is going to be improved.
Oh, look what you did. That was nice. Yeah.
Very nice.
We got a
Right.
text from the 636 resending this because Marsh is a tool.
Whoa.
Nobody's safe.
Wait.
But
We'll,
okay.
We'll save our judgment.
Wow. Okay.
What happened, Martian?
NHL overtime would be better if, instead of having a no back icing leaving the zone, only the shootout winning team gets 1 point and the losing team no point, forcing both teams to be aggressive during 3-on-3 overtime. That is from Grant's second fan. And not a fan of me, I guess.
Well, that's a shame.
No, I think Grant's second fan is just saying that to get my attention, and he did a great job at doing that.
It's like when they say you asked
Yeah.
to us.
That's what BT used to say. As long as you, like, if you put you ask, then we'll probably respond.
So I've been saying for a while now that the losing team should just be the losing team.
Yes.
That's it.
No points.
Like, I don't, yeah, you are awarded 0 points.
You lost,
Thank
man.
God have mercy on your soul.
But I don't know why the NHL gives 1 point. Oh, we give 1 point. And then the NHL thought if we give a team 1 point, it's going to open it up more.
Why?
Because they thought that now you got a point. You're not worried about losing. Maybe you'll play a little more wide open in overtime.
No, you got a point. You don't care.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen. And then they went back to, then the NHL goes, coaches and players ruin the game sometimes. They started that cycle all the way back behind the net, all the way back to the goalie, and it's become monotonous in overtime now.
Yeah.
So I love the over and back rule. Once you cross center ice with the puck, you can't go back.
Yeah.
You get a penalty. And I think the winning team should be awarded the 2 points, and the losing team in the shootout or overtime, it's 0.
I agree.
Totally
like that.
agree.
2 points or nothing.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, 2 points.
Because
you
you
get the
either
hell
won
out.
or you lost.
Yeah, right.
Oh, here you lost. Like,
We'll still reward you.
if you buy a lottery ticket and you don't get the right numbers,
Hey.
but you're close, do they give you like 100,000?
No, you
I
lost.
wish they
No,
did.
Yeah.
you lose. I know, right? That's fun.
It'd be nice. I'd take $100.
No, you're right. I think that's.
anything.
Yeah.
I think that's
Hey,
solid.
give me my ticket back.
Literally.
Yeah, the money I paid.
You got to wonder what sport would want to do it that way. It just doesn't make any sense. We have Freedom Friday, and we're continuing next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. continues here on a Friday. It's not the last Friday of the month, but we did decide with these three guys out, these three guys being Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers out next Friday, that we would do Freedom Friday today. So, Marsh, without further ado, what's our next Freedom Friday conversation? You all right, Jamie?
He pulled the mic a little too close.
Pulled it too hard.
All right. Be careful.
That's what happens.
Yeah, and made a noise.
Makes it now. Yeah.
We got a text from the 636. Marsh, I'm going to need you guys to take a step back and give our girl, Michelle Smallmon, some love and let the people know about the guy she demolished on air earlier about Stan Kroenke and the NFL.
Gus will never be the same.
She, as politely as possible, told this guy to go fast lane himself. And because we had the 636 text in asking us to talk about that, I pulled a little blurb from the 3-minute convo that Michelle Smallmon had with Gus, who is the gentleman who called in. Let's take a listen to how she basically eviscerated this listener on Unsportsmanlike.
Do you understand what Stan Kroenke and the NFL did to my city in the wake of them leaving the Rams leaving to go to LA? Are you aware of how this went down at all?
You just picked the NFL. You just said the NFL, so why even pick another team?
No, it was Stan Kroenke who did this, and then the NFL allowed him because they want more money. And at the end of the day, you're right. Maybe I should just shun the NFL altogether, but you called into this show because I work at ESPN, and we talk about sports all day, specifically the NFL. And it's fun to be a fan, Gus. It is fun to be a fan, and I want to be a part of what my co-hosts and everybody here at ESPN Radio gets to do all the time during the fall, which is to be a part of something that's bigger than yourself and be a part of a community that cares about something. I miss caring about sports in the way that I used to. So I want to join another franchise. And there are some great options that I have here. But Gus, may I ask you a personal question?
This is where it gets good.
Absolutely.
Are you in a relationship?
Oh, absolutely married.
Okay. So you're married to someone who I'm sure that you love and adore. If that person cheated on you and then went all over social media saying, Gus is the worst, Gus is disgusting, no one will ever be able to have a successful marriage with Gus, and no one should even try. I'm so glad that I got away from Gus, and you should be pumped for me that I got away too. And then your ex goes on and marries somebody else. Are you going to get back together with that person?
Knockout punch by Michelle, yes.
Well done.
Well done.
And you can find the full clip on Twitter X at UnsportsESPN, Unsportsmanlike. Obviously, Michelle is looking for a new football team, and Gus caught her wrath.
So I was listening to some of it. I happened to be up that early this morning. Don't know why, but I was. And it was just Michelle basically trying to figure out what team she should cheer for. Because she doesn't want to just pick a team because she wants to have some emotional attachment to the team. And, you know, and then this guy calls in, and I was like, oh, buddy, you better pack your lunch. Because I've heard her go off before about this very topic.
Can you provide context? Do you know what he was saying?
He was saying to her that, why do you need a new team? The beginning, he says, why do you need a new team?
Just stick with the Rams.
The Rams are the team. They just changed cities. Why are you? And then she's like, whoa. That's what she said. Do you know what happened? Like,
gotcha.
It's not like the team just left because of whatever. They eviscerated St. Louis while they did it.
Yeah, and Michelle is, as a lot of people know here on 101 ESPN, she was born and raised across the river. She's, diehard St. Louis everything. It's not like me, who's from
Parts unknown.
Detroit, New York, Chicago, San Jose,
Florida,
Montana.
Did we leave anything out? New York?
I don't think so. I said New York, yeah. Okay. Where if the Falcons left Atlanta and they went to Dallas or San Antonio, I'd still be a Falcon fan. There's no connection for me to the city. It's not. Atlanta wasn't one of the cities that I grew up in. So for me, it's fine. But for her, she's got all of that emotional connection. She feels, everything that Stan Kroenke and the Rams did while leaving. So she's not going to just be happy with going with the Rams. All those memories, all those, yes, the good ones, but the bad ones at the end, they follow her if she roots for that same team. And why celebrate the LA Rams? So I get where she's saying.
Yeah, I totally get it.
So it's not apples to apples.
There are a lot of people here that do not watch the Rams. They won't celebrate them. They won't cheer for them. And then there are some people here that don't blame the players for what the owner decided to do. And so either way, I understand it.
And some people have sworn off the NFL altogether.
There you go.
That's their prerogative too. That's fine.
Yeah. And some people have several teams.
And some people have at least three.
And those people are great, too.
They should have one team. You're hedging your bet.
Oh, coming from you.
I got one team.
Mr. Chicago Bears.
I think they're going to be good this year.
Mr. Chicago Bears.
I don't trust the Bears.
Mr. Pittsburgh Steelers. Who else does Carey love?
I like
he likes the Giants. He thinks Daniel Jones is paid accordingly.
Loves Danny Dimes.
I will stop you there.
You said.
I don't like the Giants.
You said Daniel Jones had to be paid.
I said he had to be paid because where else are you going to go?
Seems like you like him.
Did Michelle wind up picking a team?
I think she's in the process of doing it now.
She's vetting it out right now.
Unsportsmanlike bachelorette for like football, so she's in the process. I think she has a few more teams left.
Because I know she grew up a Dan Marino fan, so I wonder if eventually she winds up with the Dolphins.
Well, the Dolphins are on the list, and I believe
she was a Dolphins.
Yeah, they used to have her and Randy
bag in there for a while.
Yeah, because Randy picked it. Right, because when Randy and Michelle did the morning show together, they kind of sided with the Dolphins there for a sec.
Yeah.
They did side with the Steelers for a while, too. Then that bag's gone. Carey, what happened?
It's at my house.
Oh, did you steal it?
I didn't steal anything. It was given to me.
No, it
is
just
now
removed it. Does Randy know you have it?
Randy knows.
Are you sure?
If he didn't, he knows now.
Well, there have been rumors that Carey had Randy like up against the wall, screaming
while
something.
Holding the golf bag in the other hand.
Yeah, screaming something like, "This is mine. Yeah. I bled for this team, not you."
What did you do to earn this bag?
Now, those are just rumors, but I think they are
rumors.
true.
I don't believe that they're true. Actually, no, I don't have that bag. I have an Illinois bag. The Steelers bag went back to where it came from.
Oh, so you sold it?
No, I didn't. I never had it. I got an Illinois bag. That was.
Oh, I would have taken the Steelers bag.
Speaking of like. Speaking of like picking teams, I was thinking about this when I watched this clip earlier today, and I'm sure there's somebody out there that is listening to the show that is this type of person. But is there anything worse than a person who is a fan of the Dallas Cowboys, the Los Angeles Lakers, and the New York Yankees?
Listen, those people are out there, and
they're out there.
I am not a fan of those people.
No.
Like, you are going to pick the front runners in every chance you get. I'm not a fan.
The only
Jamie, you know someone?
I know somebody became a fan for 2 weeks.
I know that too. That person might be a front runner as well.
I declared it. It's not like I hopped on the Lions bandwagon when they finally started to get good.
You broke both legs jumping off the Falcons bandwagon and hung on to the Chiefs bandwagon by one hand. It was like a scene out of a movie. You're being drugged behind a train.
Not true.
It's totally
Objection,
true.
Speculation.
They were stepping on his hands trying to get him off.
They were kicking at his
Get out of here.
fingers.
He's like, I shall not.
I duct taped his hand to the...
Hold on. What I did was I was dragged. I had a chain, and they dragged me on the bandwagon. I never touched it. I just dragged, and I was like behind it the entire time.
Like Indiana Jones?
I had respect.
Uh-huh.
Unlike you, you're just like, you're on the party bus with the Lions. Hey, I'm here.
I'm on the party bus with Dan Campbell.
I know.
I do agree with that.
Yeah. And I don't fault you for that.
No.
So I don't appreciate you.
Team,
I don't appreciate you.
But at least I have an attachment to Detroit. Like, at least I do. Right?
Anthony has an attachment to
Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Yeah. Kansas City barbecue one time?
Yeah.
I've been there.
Had Gates Barbecue.
Took the kids to Great Wolf Lodge.
There you go.
The Lego Museum.
That's Great Wolf Lodge is good. Not going to lie.
I've been there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, might as well be a Kansas City person.
Might as well be Mahomes' backup quarterback. You know what I mean? Okay, I went too far. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We have What's Trending next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals back in action tonight as they take on the Minnesota Twins at Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Andre Pallante on the mound for the Redbirds going up against David Festa. First pitch is at 7:10. We're still waiting on the lineup, so don't worry. We will have the lineup game for you through later in the show. But as you know, and if you don't know, today is Freedom Friday. We're doing it a little earlier than the last Friday of the month. So get your Freedom Friday topics in. We'll continue discussing those throughout the show. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time to find out what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, there is a Cardinals game tonight. They are taking on the Minnesota Twins. How do you see this series playing out for the Redbirds? Obviously, they're coming off 2 wins against Milwaukee, who are leading the division. But you take on a Minnesota Twin team that I don't necessarily know if people are really watching the Twins. They're a solid ball club. How do you expect this series to go for the Cardinals?
Oh, boy.
Can I tell you how tonight might go?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, the Twins only had 1 hit yesterday against the Yankees. It was the first hit of the game. Nothing else. Expect them to figure out a way to hit tonight.
Well, Carey, it's funny that you brought that up because in doing a little bit of research, the Twins have scored the 3rd most runs in the American League.
Okay.
So far this season. So.
Not
Maybe
great.
win the Twins.
And who's on the bump for the Redbirds?
Pallante tonight.
Okay, I don't feel all that bad.
I retract that. It wasn't the Twins. It was someone else.
Oh.
The Yankees played the Cleveland Guardians. Same division.
Same.
How about Aaron Judge got 7 home runs and 13 RBI in the last 10 games?
Is that all?
Yeah.
He could lead the Cardinals in all season categories probably with just that stat line.
Never, Bob.
Yeah. So it'll be Pallante, versus Festa. I know I added.
Polenta? You ever had polenta? It's pretty good.
Added a little.
Figured you'd like that. Polenta's an Italian thing.
Yeah, solid.
Yeah.
Gray versus Lopez, and then Eric Fetty versus Matthews. This isn't a daunting pitching staff for Minnesota. Pablo Lopez is very good, but you can counter with Gray. I know Gray's had his issues, but at least you're lining him up there.
He's fine.
Matthews wasn't great the other night, and Festa hasn't been great. And Festa is going to be on like an 80 or so pitch count. So,
and I was wrong about who they played. They played the Padres yesterday. They had 18 hits. So maybe they won't. Maybe they'll be a little tired tonight.
Against Cease? Because Cease started that game.
Was it Cease that started? Yeah, I think so.
I almost picked that.
No, it wasn't Cease that started. That was 2 days ago.
Was it?
Yeah.
I almost picked that game.
That was Wednesday, I think. I believe.
Well, let's get this right, okay, people?
Yeah.
Box score. Minnesota had 18 hits and 11 runs. Waldron started that game. Excuse me.
18 hits.
18 hits.
Tuckered out tonight, right, Jamie?
No.
They're seeing the ball really well.
It's 71 and 56. This is a team that's not tuckered out.
They're seeing the ball really well.
This is a team that is seeing the ball very well. They have a lot of momentum, and they're looking at the Cardinals as a wounded bird.
Guys, come on. Your Redbirds just won 2 games in a row.
Mm-hmm.
They're rolling. They're on track.
Yeah, no, they're a good team.
I don't think you meant that.
Hey, at least Correa and Buxton are still out for the Twins.
Does it matter?
Right?
Does it matter?
No, probably not.
Gary, they've won 2 games in a row.
Come on. You
This
win
team's
tonight.
a juggernaut.
You'll see me in the glasses.
On Monday?
It depends on what they do on the weekend.
Okay, I was about to say.
We'll see. We'll see what happens next Friday. Okay. Carey will wear the glasses next Friday if he feels like he wants to.
He can. We just won't see it.
And if he doesn't want to, I'll wear them.
Yep.
And if I don't want to, then Jamie will wear them.
I ain't wearing those things.
I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing right now, Marsh.
What are you talking about?
And I don't like it at all because none of you guys are going to be here.
Oh, that's next Friday.
I'll wear them.
I'll take them with me. Send you a picture.
They actually look good on you. You'll be fine.
Send you a picture. I got some gold glasses for when the Steelers start winning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Probably going to win week 1
I'll wear them
in Atlanta.
Justin Fields going to be your starter.
Love it for him. Guy can play.
Yeah.
Speaking of football,
He can run.
He can do that.
Speaking of football, or I don't know what this is. Jamie, you'll have to explain this to me because I saw something last night from the CFL.
Okay.
The Toronto Argonauts and the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Time is ticking down. The score is 19-19 in the fourth quarter. And at the very end, the field goal is kicked, except the field goal's missed. However, because the ball went past the end zone, Toronto gets 1 point regardless of them actually hitting the field goal, and they win the game. What kind of rule is that?
Oh, it's a great one. Canadian Football League is quite unique, as you know, Carey.
Yeah.
The field is much larger than the NFL field, and the end zone is 25 yards deep, not 10. So, when you get down the red zone, most of the time you score.
Yeah, sounds like it.
There's no
A lot of
defense
room.
just like mucking it up to keep you off balance. It's like 30 yards around. Like, it's okay, good luck.
The yardage we need is everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
So what happens in the CFL on field goals, it used to be on a punt as well, but they took that rule out because you could punt one all the way down through the end zone and get 1 point for it. Now it's on field goals that if you miss, but the ball goes out the back of the end zone, they'll still give 1 point because they think, well, that's one heck of a kick. I mean, it's a 40-yarder, and you put it through the other, like 70-yard kick that you just hammered.
Can they not have somebody back
They
there?
do, but he can't be outside of the end zone. So if he misses, it's not like it's bouncing through the end zone.
Yeah.
If he does, that guy will pick it up and he will run it out just
So
to
he
make
can
sure.
be in the end zone to keep it from going.
Correct. So they do. They line somebody up in the back of the end zone. But this kick in particular, it missed to the left, but it carried right over the
Just kept
guy's
going.
head and hit the stands. And so he was awarded 1 point
And
and
they
the
won?
victory.
Nice job, kid.
And the best part is, and this is the part that made me laugh, I was on the bike this morning watching this highlight on the TV, and the kicker misses, and everybody's like, oh, and then it hits the wall like, the kicker celebrates like he hit the game-winning field goal.
Might as well. You won the game.
Well, guys, I just want to thank God. 'Cause,
He blessed me with this leg.
I missed wide left, but that 1 point was huge, and I feel like without me, the team would have failed today.
Somewhere Norwood
I
is
was
like,
just thinking that. Come on. Really?
to be a champion.
Got to be a Hall of Famer in the CFL.
There's no
So, yeah,
reason
it's
to-
the CFL has some quirky rules to it, but I will say this, and the football players are not as good as the NFL. The NFL is the greatest football players in the world. But the CFL has a very exciting brand of football. There's no rule for guys in motion.
That's the weird.
Yeah.
That's the craziest.
They can run. They get a running head start.
Oh my God! As a DB, if
That
you can
sucks.
play it is the worst. It's hard enough to keep a guy on the line.
Can you imagine
and
like
stay in front of him.
backpedaling before, and then all of a sudden that guy stops on a dime
Oh
and just
my
runs a
goodness.
simple hitch?
It is ridiculous.
It's wild, and they come up with some creative plays. They've got 3 downs instead of 4, so you got to do your damage in a hurry. The field's massive. It's a fun game. There's always lots of points scored.
I wish I had a chance to go to the
I wish you
CFL when
went.
I got done, and I was like, But they don't really run the football. It's
You would have
a
ran
lot
the
of
ball.
passing.
Though. Yeah, but you would have ran the ball.
I looking back on it,
And
because
it
I think it was
wouldn't have been as
Toronto
crowded.
or maybe Toronto would have
Montreal, baby.
Montreal. Yeah,
You'd had fun.
I know. Might not be here now. Might stay there.
Yeah.
Oh well, eventually. Well, yeah. You're right. Sure, you may have stayed.
We're
in
glad
Montreal.
you're here,
Toronto.
Carey. We're glad you're here.
Montreal's way better.
What is an Argonaut?
Oh gosh.
Toronto is a beautiful
Jamie
city.
knows what that is.
Nothing like Montreal.
I've never been to Montreal, but
you.
went to Toronto.
Toronto's not what you think. Toronto's a lot like New York City.
Okay.
Really busy, and there's areas that aren't that great.
Okay.
Montreal is like a European city that has very few rules to like the nightlife and everything, and it's beautiful. It's kept perfect.
You
There's
could
no
have stopped at
crime.
no rules.
There's no crime. It's unreal.
Marshy has a question on Freedom Friday.
What's an Argonaut?
That's a Greek thing. It's,
Okay.
It's like a warrior,
the helmet.
the Argonaut.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there we go.
What are the Toronto?
Well, now you
What's
know.
Toronto's?
The Argonauts.
The Argonauts.
Argonauts.
Yeah.
Montreal is the Alouettes.
The Alouette.
What's an alouette?
Oh, yeah. What
That's
is
a
that?
bird. Alouette.
And then it's
Jean
the
Alouette.
Hamilton Tiger Cats,
Like
Yeah.
that. Yep.
the BC Lions,
Yep. The Ottawa Red Blacks.
the Ottawa
Do you know the
Red
story behind
Blacks.
that
No.
one? So a friend of mine, Roger Greenberg, owns. That's the guy we go to Vegas with every year. He owns the Ottawa Red Blacks. And when Ottawa had lost their franchise for a while, they were called the Red. I don't know what that. Something else. I tried to do something with an R. It didn't work. The original team was the Ottawa Rough Riders. So I don't know. I don't know what.
Rough Riders.
I don't know what came first, Saskatchewan or Ottawa Rough Riders, but they both carried the same name. And the logo was just a nice, it was a black helmet with a big white R with a red stripe down the middle. Very classic looking thing. Well, when Roger bought the team back or brought a team back to Ottawa, he wanted the Rough Riders. He's like, people, like we used to go 40,000 people at a Rough Riders game.
Yeah.
And it had gotten down to like 7,000 for whatever the heck they were after that. And Roger wanted to bring back the Rough Rider name. So he went to the guy who owned it and said, hey, I'd like to buy this back. I forget what amount of money. The guy then countered with some astronomical number. Roger goes, oh, really? Keep it. I don't care. Fine. The Rough Riders will die with you, sir.
Yeah.
And so he went back to his design team and everything, and they copied, they legally copied the R just enough so that it looks the same, and he called them the Ottawa Red Blacks. We'll be red, black, and white. We have the big white R on the helmet like we
Nice.
used to. Good luck, buddy.
That's awesome.
And now that franchise is thriving again.
That's really
So
cool.
Screw you, buddy.
There you go. And what, Calgary Stampeders?
Stampeders, yeah.
Are we missing any?
The Edmonton Elks is what they're
Elks.
called now. They used to be
The
called
Eskimos.
Yeah, and somehow somebody liked that.
Okay.
Yeah, they had the EE logo.
They
the
still have it,
yellow.
though. They still do because it's called the Edmonton Elks.
Edmonton Elks. EE. Okay. There you go. A little CFL history on a Freedom Friday.
You're welcome.
All right. Speaking of Freedom Friday, we continue it next here on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey, and people are talking about Window Nation. Their customer, Vicky, says, we could not be happier. This was a great experience. She's just one of over 33,000 five-star reviews, and that's because Window Nation is all about value. And this August, they're giving you a great value during the Window Nation anniversary sale right now. Buy 2 windows, and you get 2 free. There's no limit to how much you could save. Plus, you could save big with no interest or payments for 24 months. And if you act now, you'll get an additional $250 credit as well. Window Nation values your satisfaction in their quality, service, and affordability. That's why they stand behind their windows with a lifetime warranty. They were also recently ranked highest on Forbes' list of best window installation companies, so you can trust them for high-quality, affordable windows. Stop paying more than you have to. Hurry. The sale ends August 31st. Schedule a fast in-home estimate right now at 866-90NATION or go online at windownation.com. They can install that window in 1 day or less, and again, it does have a lifetime warranty. So check them out, 866-90NATION, or visit them online at windownation.com.
doing Freedom Friday today instead of next week with the guys out. Next week, we're bringing Freedom Friday to you today. So if you have a Freedom Friday topic that you want us to discuss, 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. If you have something for the Snake Pit, you can do that too. Air Alliance Team YouTube channel at 101 ESPN STL. Marsh, what's our next Freedom Friday topic?
All right, from the 314, we got this text before we did What's Trending. The 314 asked, did you see what Robert Thomas and Jordan Binnington said about the latest Blues offer sheets?
I did. I pulled up TSN, which is ESPN up in Canada. And it's kind of funny because we've been talking about how Army improved the roster and what we think of the roster and the coaching staff, what they think. But we really haven't thought about, like, what do the players think? Mm-hmm. The guys that are currently on the team, and Robert Thomas and Jordan Binnington, we were just debating earlier who's going to be the MVP, so they're probably a pretty big part of the team.
I would say so.
Well, they were asked about this, and it's an angle I didn't think of before. So Jordan Binnington was asked about it, and he says this, and I quote, "It's good to see some fight from the management in order to show confidence in our team to be better, faster, and more competitive." He goes on to say, and I think we can feed off of that.
Nice.
So we'll get to Robert Thomas's quotes in a minute, but Army's moves have already had an impact on the current roster. The players who are here, the mainstays, right? So let's just say like the Braden Shen, Binnington, Parayko, Thomas, Kyrou, they want to win. Busch signed up for like coming back because he liked what Army had to say. Maybe Army told him, I'm going to get uber aggressive, Busch. I'm telling you, this retool is going to get put on steroids. You just got to trust me. Mm-hmm. And now Army goes and does this. And now guys like the mainstays are like, yeah, hell yeah, Army's a savage. And I'm here for it. Now watch how training camp goes. And that's what they go on here. It says, it's pretty exciting. Two players, this is Robert Thomas, says it's pretty exciting. Two players who played a role in Edmonton's deep Stanley Cup playoff run and good young pieces. Says we've got a lot of young guys who aren't necessarily prospects, but have had a good taste of the playoffs at this level. And he goes on to say, it's really exciting to be part of the Blues right now.
Nice.
So Army, you talk about in politics, right? What do they call that? The confidence of or what's the words they use? When somebody at the top of the politics chain...
A vote of no confidence?
No, not in a vote
of like the opposite.
The opposite.
Vote of confidence.
A vote of confidence.
Or whatever, right? You're winning over your party or whatever. Mm-hmm. This is Army. Army and Steiner, I know they're collaborated in this, but what they've done here now is they have created an energy, a boost to that locker room. And it's not that Broberg and Holloway are going to come in and be Norris Trophy and an MVP right away. But it just shows a team is willing to do things that are uncharacteristic around the league to get better. And so the players who are signed up long-term, who don't want to lose for many, many years, are feeling really good about it and energized because they feel like, hey, we keep winning, we keep doing our job, we got a couple of young players. Come trade deadline time, if we have some cap space, Army will probably add to the roster if we're right into the playoffs. Like, they're now feeling like Army doesn't want to lose either.
Approval rating.
That's it. Approval rating.
There you go.
That was
nice.
on the text line?
Text line.
Thank you,
text
text
line.
line.
Come for us.
No, definitely wasn't coming
approval
from us.
Yeah.
Jamie, as you talk, boy, it's kind of a simple recipe if you just follow it. It not just with the players, but with your fan base too. As long as there's some hope, as long as you feel like the team is heading in a direction that's positive,
being active.
You are going to. It's easy to get on board. You don't always have to sign the top free agent to get your team fired up. If you're active, if you have urgency, if you have a clear, I see what the team is doing, it's easy to hop on board. We get a lot of comments about the Cardinals and things like that. They just need to spend more. I don't think you have to spend more. I think you have to spend wiser, and you have to show a clear direction, and you have to show some positivity. That's all Army has done this offseason. It's not like he went out there and added, who was the top free agent? Who was one of Carolina's guys that hit free agency this year?
Oh, Brett Pesce.
Whoever the top free agent was this year. It's not like Army added him and everybody's like, I'm on. Take my money. Give me season tickets. He was active. He made some savvy moves. He was surprising. He stole some headlines. And now people are excited, including his own team. It's not rocket science. But when you sit there and it's like, well, I don't know what you want me to do.
Or be patient.
And be patient.
Why did you
Tell
go to
Robert
Mo's
Thomas and
voice?
Jordan Bennington, be patient.
Why'd you go to Mo's voice?
That wasn't Mo's voice.
Oh, okay.
It was my Uncle Sammy's voice.
Who sounds a lot like
Mo. Yeah.
Okay. No, I agree. I think you don't have to go out and get the top free agent, but you see Army and you see this Blues organization actively trying to make the team better. And if you're a player on that team, if you're Jordan Bennington, like you're excited about seeing players. Again, we talked about the defense. You're Robert Thomas. You're excited about a team, a GM, and a front office that is actively trying to add to a team that didn't make the playoffs. They had some good moments, and then they had some really bad moments. A coach got fired. Like, there was a lot of ups and downs from that team last year, and now you're saying, okay, you know what, the hell with it. We're going to put out the best lineup, the most competitive guys. Here are some younger guys. Here are some older guys. And I told you the quote that I loved where Army said when he had his press conference, a lot of the veterans use training camp as an opportunity to get in rhythm. I wouldn't do that this year if I were you. I'm just saying. I can't promise you're going to have a job if that's the way you're going to go. Like, I love that. And if I'm a guy on that roster that is a Robert Thomas, a Jordan Kyrou, a guy that has a contract, a Buchnevich, that I know I'm going to be here for the next 5, 6, 7 years, Colton Parayko, I want people here that are going to work and work their best, and we get the best group that is allowed. And so, yeah. If the Cardinals did that, I think I know you would have more people showing up for those games because it's a competition. Like, people are actively trying to get better, both on the field, in the front office. We are actively trying to put forth the best team, not just saying, well, if we add here, I did it too. That's your uncle, Sammy. Yeah. We were talking to him. Sorry.
He called before the show.
We were listening to him. It just stuck in my head.
Yeah.
It's contagious.
It's contagious. Yeah, that's it. Like, add players that actively make your team better, not just something that makes you feel like you did enough. Like, actively do it.
So I had a couple of guys come up to me this morning at the gym, and they're big hockey fans, great dudes. They pop by every now and then, just talk some hockey with me. And the one guy said something that kind of caught my attention. He goes, I thought he was going to say, I can't wait for this year. He says, I can't wait for training camp. I can't wait to watch those games.
Nice.
And I was like, huh? He's like, man, there might actually be some fights this year. Like, guys got to get after it.
Yeah.
And it's true. Like, your bottom 6 forwards, your top guys are your top guys. But your bottom 6, you guys like Nathan Walker, even Oscar Sundquist, the Texier kid, the Joseph kid. Like, nobody's guaranteed anything right now.
Yeah.
You might see some things get heated because guys are competing.
As they should.
Yep.
And so, but that, along with a guy saying he's excited for training camp, like, you don't hear that very often from a team that just missed the playoffs.
That's Jamie Rivers. That's Carey Davis. We got Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. Freedom Friday continues with your topics next on 101 ESPN.
Welcome back here to the Fast Lane. It's 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter, Andrew Marsh, myself, Jamie Rivers. It is Freedom Friday. So your text messages to the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-3999-646, or send your questions in or your thoughts to the Air Alliance Team YouTube channel, 101 ESPN. Marshy, what do we got?
All right, from the 314, curious to know why we bring up the financial difficulties from the Bally situation, why we bring it up for the Cardinals, but not so much the Blues.
That's because the Cardinals brought it up and the Blues haven't yet. Am I wrong? The Cardinals brought it up right away talking about how, well, you know, the Bally, the TV funding and all that. And the Blues have not brought it up yet. They didn't, when signing free agents or acquiring players, Doug Armstrong and Alex Steen never once said, well, you know, we're up against it. We're not getting that Bally's money. They just didn't talk about it. Yeah. Like, why? You don't need to make an excuse sometimes. I think the general public know that that's a reality. That's a big chunk of change that both of those teams are not receiving. Although that's not true, because the Cardinals did receive it this year. They did. And the Blues got paid out their money for last year. Now, moving forward, we don't know what
how it is going to impact the revenue.
Whatever. How, if it's going to be paid, if it's not.
Right.
There's rumors right now that Bally's is being bought out of bankruptcy by a major player in the TV network. We'll see how that works. Amazon's getting involved up in Canada for hockey games. So who knows what the landscape is moving forward. But I think the only reason people talk about it with the Cardinals is because the Cardinals themselves have brought it up while discussing free agents and signings and things like that, whereas the Blues just have not yet. Now, they might down the road. Who knows? But Army just offered 250% more for a player than he should have. He didn't bring up Bally's.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's my take on it.
Do you think it's because the NHL has a salary cap?
I was wondering if that had something to do with it as well.
Why would that matter?
I don't think it matters.
I'm just wondering why that would matter.
Because the Cardinals can use that as to why that. Because if you have a salary cap, you are going to, generally speaking, get to the cap, right? If you're the Cardinals and there is no cap, that can kind of, well, it's impacting us even spending what we normally would. So we're like, it's almost, it's an excuse, I think. But it's also, you know, a way to try to circumvent and say, we're unable to even spend what our normal cap would be because we don't know what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah, it's okay.
And the Blues could probably say the same thing.
But the Blues then could say, well, we're $15 million below the cap this year because we got affected.
Yeah.
And this is why the retool's going to slow down here a little bit because we can't spend to the cap because we're not getting any extra funding from the regional sports networks. But they didn't.
They haven't.
They spent right to the cap just like they have every other year.
Got a lot of people, too.
They got a lot of people. Too many right now.
Jamie, you're never going to have enough, you know? People get injured. People get tired. They get tuckered out from all those practices. You got plenty. Figure out who's going to be here and who's not. Who wants to be here?
Guys, a day off, though.
Well, here's the thing. The Blues go about it in a different way. You got to show them that you want to be here by your work, your play. The Cardinals, you just tell us. We'll sign you.
Anybody else imagine, like...
I wish the Blues were still like that. I would call Army and be like, hey, man, I really want to be a Blue again.
You got to go out there and show it, though, Jamie. You got to go out there and show it and prove.
Show it for 5 minutes?
I don't know. They might need you for about 17, 12.
They know that's not in my...
Well, then they got guys younger, Jamie. That's why I'm not calling me
experience
either.
Between these ears, Carey.
Yeah, but if you're not able to move a little bit faster than the people coming towards you...
You just have to play more violent.
That's helps. All. You're going to be in the penalty box.
Maybe suspended and lose all my paychecks. Hey, sounds like a bad idea. What were you going to say?
You wind up owing them.
Right.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say, I imagine Mo, like, calling a free agent. He's got his little notepad and he's got, like, check marks. Now, did you used to play with the organization?
Yep.
Oh, 1990? That's fine. Okay. Now, do you want to be here?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, no, you're in. So
that's it.
We'll call your agent, and we'll give you whatever you want, and we'll set you up. Make sure you're down in Florida for spring training, and we'll see you there.
Guys, speaking of salary cap, the 618 wants to know, do you guys think if baseball had a salary cap right around $200 million, do you think the Cardinals would spend to that cap every year? And do you think Major League Baseball would be more competitive?
No, they're not going to spend. Where are they at right now? 170?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to 200.
They could spend the 200 right now if they wanted to.
They could, but they wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't have that set. That I don't. Let's just say that the salary cap would be set higher. I don't think they would spend to the cap. I think they would probably spend about the same.
I agree.
That's the unfortunate part, right? Like, it's not about spending; it's about who they're spending on. And we've made this point several times. Now, to the second part of that question, do we think that Major League Baseball would be more competitive? Unquestionably, yeah. Have you seen the parity that's involved in the NFL or the NHL? Now, a lot of people, I say that, and it's like, well, hey, look at the winners in the NFL. It's the Chiefs every year. The playoff teams change. There's divisional winners that change. I realize that Major League Baseball, there is, a different World Series team consistently, but over the years, it has been the Dodgers, it has been the Astros, it has been recently the Braves, it has been the Phillies now, it has been the Yankees. We're not so for every Diamondbacks team or Marlins team that makes the wild card. We're not seeing that change too much at the top in Major League Baseball. I don't feel as a Cardinals fan. Here's the difference. I don't feel as a Cardinals fan that we can match up with the Dodgers. I know that baseball is random, but if you take that away, if you just say baseball is random, if you take that argument away, I don't feel like the Cardinals coming into this year matched up against the Dodgers, the Phillies, or the Braves. Do you guys feel that way? Like had a shot to win the National League Central. Shot to win the pennant, National League pennant.
I was going to say, they all
Dodgers,
are we all in
Phillies,
the Central now?
Braves.
Do the Cardinals have a chance? No.
Yeah.
You didn't feel that.
Exactly.
No. Realistically,
You had
no.
to pause?
Well, no, because then you're going to get a text in that says, well, the Diamondbacks did it last year. It's always...
Yeah, but look at the Diamondbacks this year.
I understand that,
We always find the one.
They really were a good team. Look at them this year.
Yeah, they had to...
Yeah, right. That's a good point.
Yeah.
The Diamondbacks have looked less like a fluke now. The Marlins were the fluke. If you don't bring anybody up, bring up the Marlins. The Diamondbacks figured out they had young pitching. The Marlins last year, they made the playoffs, and then the pitching went away, and then they fell apart. But I don't feel as though, based on the fact that the Dodgers once again signed Shohei Ohtani, all these guys, that the Cardinals were ever in that conversation. Whereas in cap sports, if you're a Blues fan, do you think the Blues are going to take down, the Panthers or the Avalanche? No, but it's less of a feeling. I think there's less of a gap than there would be between the Cardinals and the Dodgers.
You got Jordan Bennington.
So if there was a cap, I would feel a hell of a lot better as a Cardinals fan, knowing that my team could actually compete, because the Dodgers can't just continue to add whoever the hell they want whenever they want to. So I do think that the cap would be better overall.
The cap would create more parity.
And a floor, too, of course.
Floor, you'd need a floor.
Yes.
Because otherwise, like the top teams that spend to the cap, they're not revenue sharing with those teams that won't get to the floor.
Right.
Screw you. You're not going to spend money, that's on you. Then you go stink.
Yep. I agree. So I just think a cap and a floor, it calls for more parity. Look at college football, too. Look at how college football has kind of evened out. Georgia's that's a fantastic program. Mm-hmm. Could Ohio State, with one of the best defenses in the nation, win a national championship? Absolutely.
Right.
Can Oregon make a run this year, win a national championship? Absolutely.
But those aren't like, so it's almost like revenue sports versus, salary cap sports versus non-salary cap sports. Like college football is essentially no salary cap, because you can pay. I mean, if you're a team like Oregon, they got a lot of money coming in from field night. If you're a team like Georgia, they got a lot of money coming. There's money to be passed around to where those programs can get better players as opposed to an Illinois.
And the field is more open, though.
Yeah.
Like you expanded the playoffs.
Yeah.
So now if you're Georgia, or what Alabama has always been with Nick Saban, Alabama's like, hey, win the SEC title, and then you just got 2 games.
Yeah.
You win the semifinal game, win the national championship, you're national champions. Now it's different. You're going to have to win multiple games. And so things, because you open things up a lot more, and because the transfer portal and NIL and all that, you don't have a cap, but you essentially have created a more wide open scenario in college football. I think this is going to be the most. I'm not going to say it's the best. I'm just going to say it's going to be the most exciting college football season.
The best
that I can remember. All right, we're going to play the lineup game.
Oh, yeah, the Cardinals.
Cardinals got a game today?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently they do, Carey.
Oh, shoot.
They're in Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You excited?
They had 18 hits
Minnesota!
All right, I'm excited. Lineup game next on 101 ESPN. Cardinals are in Minnesota to take on the Twins tonight. It's a Fast Line on 101 ESPN. Time to play the lineup game. as they open up the new series. All right, boys. Tonight, you got Andre Palante versus David Festa of Minnesota. David Festa is a right-hander.
Oh, the old
I imagine
RHP.
this will be pretty simple.
Yep. All right, go ahead, Carey.
Sure, it's Masyn Winn.
I'm watching the Futures game, and this thing's all over Instagram. It's like, this guy threw a ball 100 across it. That's awesome, but, like, how many throwing errors does he have?
Shut up!
All right, my guy Burley here, you think?
Sure.
Yeah.
Show us Alec Burleson.
You know, kind of closed my eyes and swung at it and did what I wanted to do.
Burley to the rescue!
No, this is Wilson.
Wilson Contreras.
Gotta be.
Sure, it's Wilson Contreras.
DH.
No.
Catches me. Check.
Donovan.
Sure.
Yeah, it's going to be because they won the last game. So, yeah,
Right, left,
go
right,
ahead.
left.
Go ahead.
Yep. Show us Brendan Donovan.
Donnie.
Hey, this headband's pretty cool.
This is going to be Nolan Arenado. Show us Nolan Arenado.
He's a Gold Glove winner and perennial All-Star.
Oh, listen to Mr. Gold Glove over here.
Come on.
I appreciate Marsh pumping the brakes on that until we properly announced
he pumped
it.
him properly.
the right way.
Yeah, he did.
Is this Lars Newbar?
It's going to be
It
for
has
sure.
Marsh, yep.
Yeah, copy paste.
Show us Lars Newbar.
What makes you think she's a witch? Well, she turned me into a newt. A newt. Got better.
Goldie.
Yep.
He's going to be back, right? He got a night off his feet.
Yep, he's ready to go.
Show us Paul Goldschmidt.
Gold! Rich with gold! Gold!
All right. Right-hander on the bump. This is probably Matt Carpenter.
Yeah, DH, Matt Carpenter.
Yep.
Go for it.
Show us Matt Carpenter.
Behalf of the veterans and new leadership.
Salsa, where's the salsa? No salsa.
Okay, so this, I would say it's got to be Victor Scott.
Yeah.
Righty on the bump,
Yes.
lefty bat.
Yes.
Just wanted to make sure we're okay with that.
I'm all right with that. Carey?
I'm good.
All right, show us Turbo.
Great Scott.
Nice.
Too fast, too fast.
Show, guys.
Speed. I am speed.
We murdered that one.
Yeah, so just a quick question for you guys. Is it good that we know the lineup like this, or is it bad that it's just...
Well, listen.
I don't know if it's good. It's a good question. I don't know if it's good or bad. They're fully committed now.
Yeah.
They're fully committed to this. I mean, I shouldn't even say now. They have been committed to this platoon righty-lefty situation. That's how Ollie wants to clearly run it, and Mo has really gotten rid of any sort of other distractions, like, the young hitters that are supposed to be part of your future foundation. So this is how it's going to be. You all right, Jamie?
Yeah, I'm
Looked
trying
like
to...
you smelled something terrible.
No, you're right. That was the face I was giving. But one of the text line, maybe they're just joking, but no, they're joking because it can't be possible.
What?
So I said they brought up Gorman for this game. No, they must mean because lefty bat. Because I think it's got to be 15 days before you can bring him back.
No, you couldn't do it. Yep.
All right. That's why. Okay. I was perplexed, Anthony.
We had another text saying you should start with 9. I guess you promised somebody on Freedom Friday we would start with the 9th batter and work our way.
Who did?
I don't think we ever promised that. That was brought up.
Why are you looking at me?
That's what he said.
We
Jamie.
Jamie?
We didn't promise any
didn't
such
say
thing.
Jamie?
No, where is it? Show me.
Where did it go, Marsh?
Yeah, you're making stuff up again.
I wouldn't make
You're
it
still
up.
mad about me cutting you off today on the highway.
I'm pissed off. Jamie said I had to wait until Freedom Friday.
For what?
Starting with who was batting in the 9th spot, Jamie said I had to wait.
Jamie,
till
did you
Freedom
make
Friday.
any sort of promises?
Anthony,
He doesn't remember what we did 2 days ago. You think he remembers what happened last
now you
Freedom
got
Friday?
this text roll.
Thank you.
You got this poor listener that's
Honestly,
hoping for something new.
it's Marshy's fault because he should have wrote it down because he knows I'm not going to remember it.
You know what Jamie did? Jamie was
Jamie had his guy.
driving down the road, and this listener was right next to him, and then he sped up, and then when the listener got right next to his window, he gave him the bird.
He certainly did, Marsh.
Pulled
Not
the
like
bird
he's
right
never
out, gave it to him.
done that before.
Yep.
Check the first segment out and you hear what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Damn, Jamie.
Come on, Jamie.
Got you, Carey. I got you, baby.
I got you. Got you good.
All right, run it, Marshy.
All right, leading off the shortstop, Masyn Winn. Batting second in left field, Alec Burleson. Batting third, catching Wilson Contreras. Your cleanup hitter, second baseman, Brendan Donovan. Batting fifth, third baseman, Arenado. Batting 6th in right field, Lars Taylor Tatsui Nukbar. Batting 7th, first baseman Paul Goldschmidt. Batting 8th, the DH, Matt Carpenter. And batting 9th in center field, Victor Scott II.
Go Phil!
I don't believe what I just saw.
Home run.
Let's get an update, Marshy.
Wow.
baby.
Of course. Okay, so Jamie is now in the lead with 28 points thanks to Luke and Baker. I am now in second. I still have 24 points. Carey has 21, and Anthony still has 9.
That's a tough one.
You're going to have to hit 2 guys off the bench.
Why don't you read Bet the Board? Go ahead, Marsh, what about the board standings?
Nah, I'll read that later.
Since we got Chuckles McGee and Chuckles McDon't here. Why don't you go ahead, Marsh? Let's bet the board.
One thing at a time, Anthony. It's maybe because you're not focusing.
Are you out at 5:45? I want to make sure if you're out at 5:45 that he reads you the Bet the Board standings.
I'm out at 5:30.
You're close. I don't want you guys
I got to make sure Carey gets home safely.
Yeah, you stay the hell away from me on the road.
All right, so it's me, huh? All right, I'm going to go Alec Burleson for 2.
Give me Brendan Donovan for 3.
Ooh.
Give me Luke and Baker for 10.
Oh, you sly dog.
Catch up.
Yeah, give me Tommy Pham for 10. I don't care.
That's all Anthony's going to do now.
I don't care. I have to.
I know.
I have to. I mean, we're in the 4th quarter, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to start throwing Hail Marys and onside kicks every down. Or every possession, I mean.
Oh, man.
Yeah, not great. All right, it is a Freedom Friday here in the Fast Lane on 101 to ESPN.
You see this?
The water boy?
Yeah, the water boy goes. It was starting with who's batting ninth spot. Jamie said I had to wait till Freedom Friday. It was from when we were talking about crazy and unique rules, and then you killed Billy Bean.
that was a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. I apologize. Yeah. It happens. I wasn't alone.
No, you weren't.
I wasn't alone.
I remember walking into the house and I'm like, hey, Kristen, you know the Moneyball guy? Yeah, Billy Bean, he died. And then realized
it wasn't him.
Waterboy follows up as if you don't remember, you can always download the 101 ESPN app and go back and listen to the show when Ranthony was at Martha's Vineyard, brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Center.
I was not at Martha's Vineyard. I was at the Titanic Museum.
Somebody said you're at Martha's Vineyard.
I was not at Martha's Vineyard.
I don't know.
So when
I was putting my hand in that cold Titanic water.
I'm just confused. Why is there a Titanic museum in the middle of Missouri?
Because you never know when you're going to have an iceberg.
Missouri is the gateway to the West.
Yeah.
It's right in the center.
Don't you get it?
So
that made perfect sense. Right? No?
Everybody going through from the west to the east. They want to see. They want to learn about the Titanic.
Well, west to the east.
The Mississippi.
They're going west to the east, or they're going east to the west.
The Mississippi River, actually, if you follow the Mississippi River, it goes all the way through up north, and it actually connects to waterways in Canada that connect to the Arctic Ocean. And that's where the Titanic went down.
Yeah, in the episode of Bluey, something happened in the episode of Bluey.
What did he do? What did he just do?
Stalter it.
Get a map. Take a look.
I think it was
really good.
I think it was the Atlantic, not the Arctic.
So Mike Ryder was just talking in my ear.
That's
I think he
connected
mentioned
to the Atlantic?
At some point.
It is for sure.
I think Ryder mentioned somebody that was on the Titanic was from Missouri. I don't know. I could be completely wrong.
The unsinkable Molly Brown.
Apparently that wasn't true.
Okay.
Who I believe they did showcase in the movie Titanic. Yeah, it was. She's a legendary actress. She was in Kathy Bates. I think it was Kathy Bates.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So there's a ship that was unsinkable, but it sunk?
Well,
that was the way they marketed it. Yeah.
That was, yes, it was bad marketing is what it was.
Very bad.
Yeah.
That thing
bad marketing.
Didn't.
All right.
No, that thing sunk. Yep. Okay. It's a Fast Lane on 101 to ESPN. We have more Freedom Friday topics coming at you next, and who knows what the hell we're going to talk about. We'll find out.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals take on the Minnesota Twins tonight at Target Field. Andre Palante will take the mound for the Redbirds as the Cardinals look to extend their winning streak to 3 games. They just took down the Brewers in the last series here at Busch Stadium. 7:10 first pitch. Palante going up against Festa. We'll continue taking your Freedom Friday topics as we progress along in the fast lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. It is a Freedom Friday. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Andrew Marsh with our next Freedom Friday topic.
All right, guys, we were talking about Michelle Smallmon, who eviscerated caller Doug on Unsportsmanlike.
Gus. Gus.
Did you just say Doug?
I mean, Doug, Gus Bus.
He just had a Jamie Carey moment.
I did.
Oh, me too. I've been known to hack up a name or two in my day.
At least we didn't kill the wrong guy.
Very true.
Not today.
Really?
Yeah.
Now we got to go there.
All right.
One time. You kill a guy one time that isn't dead. Twice. You're
And
ready
then try to resurrect another. But you know what you didn't do? You didn't call Jose Fermin, Freddie Fermin.
There you go.
You know?
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
Well, we got a text from the 314. Guys, you guys should call Michelle. Get her on the show today for Freedom Friday.
We should, absolutely.
That would be a great idea.
It would be. Yeah. Michelle, are you there?
Hi, guys.
Hey, we got that text. We got her on the phone. Michelle Smallmon, of course, born and raised right here in St. Louis or across the river. Illinois. Go ahead, Carey.
ILL.
I Carey, you know it.
Yes.
Illinois grad, and now she's doing big things at the network. Unsportsmanlike is where you can listen to Michelle every single morning on ESPN. And Michelle, we played the audio, just a clip of it, of you and Gus and how you took him behind the woodshed, on top of the woodshed, under the woodshed. I mean, it was
very little left of Gus.
It was yes. So well done. For those that didn't hear it, can you give us your perspective on how you eviscerated him and took his soul?
Okay, first of all, nothing but love to Gus. He was a good sport. I don't think he realized that by making that call to us on Unsportsmanlike this morning, he was not only going to hit a nerve with me, he was going to summon the Italian deep from within my soul. Hey, Anthony, you know what's up.
I deal with that daily.
Turn that car around. It
Yep.
really is. But for those who don't know and haven't heard it on the show or seen it on social media, I am ready to love again. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but after the Rams did us dirty, I had put up walls for a long time. I was mad at the NFL, certainly hated the Rams, but now that I've been doing Unsportsmanlike for a year and we talk about football every day, I have a little bit of FOMO. Having a team is so fun. Being a fan is so fun. Everybody on the show has their team except for me. So I've let those walls down. I'm ready to love again. And we did a little spoof of The Bachelorette, the NFL Bachelorette. We made this video where we were making fun of the show. And I whittled down my selection to what I'm calling my Sweet Six, my top 6 teams. We revealed it on the show this week. I gave those 6 teams roses. And then the day before the kickoff to the regular season, so September 4th, that Wednesday, I'm going to select my final team. And today on the show, we were talking about that. And fans from all over the country have been so great, guys. They've been reaching out to me, pitching their teams to me, telling me why it's special to be a part of their fan base. And Gus, I believe Gus was from Illinois, called in and was like, what are you doing? Why would you why wouldn't you just stick with the Rams? It's essentially, guys, insinuating that I'm not loyal and that St. Louis fans are not loyal for following the Rams. And I was like, oh, no, Gus, you are sadly mistaken and unfortunately uneducated when it comes to what Stan Kroenke and the NFL did to St. Louis. And I don't know what happened. I had like a verbal exorcism, but I just had to let Gus know that St. Louis was done dirty, and when somebody does you like that, you don't stick with them. You only give loyalty to people that give it back and that earn that respect. And Stan Kroenke and the Rams, as far as I'm concerned, lifetime ban. Dead to me, lifetime ban.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't blame you, Michelle. And I was giggling listening to it this morning. I happened to be up early, and I thought it was awesome. But just out of curiosity, we're getting a lot of texts right now. For those who didn't hear it, who are the final 6 teams? Who got roses, Michelle?
Oh, yes, great question. So the final 6 are as such, and I'll do it in dramatic fashion.
I like it that way.
San Francisco. Yeah, thank you. Okay, the San Francisco 49ers, because I thought, why not cheer for a team that's going to kick the Rams behind twice a year? That would be great, right?
Good call.
The Miami Dolphins, because I grew up a Dan Marino fan, so I have some affection there. The Cincinnati Bengals, my favorite quarterback currently is Joe Burrow. He's the only guy who can beat Patrick Mahomes, so why not cheer for the Bengals? Even though, St. Louis is my heart through and through, I did grow up on the Illinois side of the river, don't have an Illinois team, so I thought Chicago Bears. It could be fun for me to be on the same timeline as Caleb Williams.
All right.
The Green Bay Packers, they don't have an owner. I'd never have to be pressed about another Stan Kroenke situation ever again. Titletown, USA. I mean, the trophy's named after their coach, for crying out loud.
The Cardinals of the NFL.
Yes, absolutely. Or the Steelers are the kind of the Cardinals of the NFL.
True, too.
But
That's
they
a good one.
unfortunately didn't make the cut. But guys, I'm catching a lot of heat for my final selection. So I live in New York City now. I don't have a New York City team. My co-host Chris Canny won a Super Bowl with the Giants, so I need to carve my own path. I predicted that Aaron Rodgers is going to have an amazing season, perhaps another MVP season.
No.
So I gave the Jets a rose.
No.
I've been coming out of the woodwork. Jets fans from all over the country have been like, babe, listen, I was born into this misery. Don't do it to yourself.
Don't do it. Yeah. I mean, listen, Michelle, you know this. You know this very well. They don't even play in New York City. They're in Jersey. So that's an easy one to just cross off.
I know.
Yeah.
And if we're doing the Bachelor thing here, like the Jets, like first appearance, handsome, right? Man, good-looking guy, got a lot of money, drives a nice car, all that stuff. But third date in, you're finding out quickly that there's a reason this guy's still single, okay? That's the New York Jets. 3 weeks in, you're going to be, there's a reason this franchise has been so terrible for so long, Michelle. I can't let you do that to yourself.
Okay, but counter, Jamie, a bad boy can be fun.
True enough. Short period of time, though. I hear.
I also feel that, Aaron Rodgers is a little bit on the older side now. I feel like he would fit more in like the Golden Bachelor or like the Golden Bachelorette.
Hey, Marcia, he's not 100.
I'm just saying.
What are you saying to us 3 guys that are sitting here right now?
He's calling us old.
I did not say that.
You did. We're all the same age.
Michelle, what do you think? Did Marcia just call us old?
Oh, for sure. I mean, in his defense, though, Aaron Rodgers is running out of runway on his NFL career. I mean, the guy every season has to go in the darkness or go on a retreat to figure out if he's going to retire or not. So who knows how much longer he's ever going to do this.
That's a good point.
Michelle, I thought you were going to say, in Marsh's defense, you guys are old. I'm glad you went the other
Which
way.
would have been true as well.
Yeah.
Michelle, now, I know you are a lifelong Cardinal fan, and I'm sure you feel pretty much how I felt. Start of the season, excited. We talked about Mother's Day, how great of a run they went on. Michelle, I'm pretty much tapped out of this team. I'm frustrated. I'm tired of watching them. I'm sure you've been keeping up. What have you seen, and how are you feeling? Not able to talk about and watch your Cards every single night, which is probably a good thing.
Okay. So this is the first time in my entire life where I'm not as locked into the Cardinals. It's hard to get the games here in New York City. I have the app. I try to catch it on the radio when I can. It basically makes it very hard for fans out of market to enjoy their team consistently, which is a huge problem. But I try my best. But you guys, I'm like, what is going on?
Same.
It feels like they get these little bursts, and you're like, okay, maybe we're feeling something. And then you're like, wait, Jordan Walker's down? Like, what is going on? And I have to tell you, I, of course, am not there, so I haven't been able to go to games. I see the photos of the crowds, and I say that in air quotes, at Busch Stadium, and I have never
Good use.
anything like that in my entire existence as a Cardinals fan. So I, of course, feel confused and very frustrated at the state of the organization right now. I really don't understand what the game plan was going into the season and how they thought the results weren't going to be anything than what we see being bared out right now. But I just have never really seen Cardinals fans not only be this fed up, but do something beyond complaining about it to you guys at 101 ESPN and on social media, because that's how you vote as a fan, is with your dollars. And if you're not showing up to games, you're letting the organization know how you feel about the state of the team. And I've just been very surprised and very intrigued by what I've been seeing with the crowds in St. Louis.
Yeah, Michelle, it's really odd because, you remember you're doing the radio, like people get angry, they get a little bit chippy here and there. People are flat out like mad now. Like we are dealing every day. They are spitting fire. They want jobs. They want players traded. They want the Pobo gone. They want the DeWitts to sell the team. Like it has gotten extreme with the way the last two seasons have gone, which is obviously completely out of character for Cardinals fans.
But when you think about it, though, this has been a kind of slow trot here. I mean, the Cardinals haven't won a World Series since 2011. Yes, of course, in the wake of that World Series, they had postseason success. They went to another World Series in 2013. It's not as if they've been a complete dumpster fire since they won the World Series. But when you have an organization like the St. Louis Cardinals, the standards are different. And if I'm a fan, and that also means I'm a consumer, if you're not doing your part as ownership to give me a reason to give you my hard-earned money, and this, you think I'm going to pay for tickets in this economy if you're not giving me the same love back? Why would I do that as a fan? And so I understand where Cardinals fans are coming from. Guys, I go back to, I believe it was 2019 when the Cardinals were in the NLCS versus the Washington Nationals. They're in the NLCS, and going to those games, I know it was freezing outside at the time, but I would see patches and the crowd of where I'm like, oh, wow, this isn't a sellout or whatever. And I remember hearing from fans at the time being like, oh, sure, they're in the NLCS, but this is not a team that's going to win the World Series. They're going to get their butts kicked by the Nationals, which they did. They got swept. But fans were like, I have to prove a point that even though you're having postseason success, if I don't think this is a World Series contender, I'm not doing it. And so when you get to the point that the Cardinals are at now, I can understand why fans would be fed up with that.
Well, Michelle, the Cardinals are going to be in New York next weekend, so you can go and watch Aaron Judge hit a lot of home runs. What'd I say? What happened?
You know what you said. You just said it.
I'm just saying.
It's exciting,
He's hit 40-something, almost 50. Right? Am I
What
right?
makes you think the Cardinals will give up home runs,
What
Carey?
makes you think they won't?
Is it the minus 60 run differential?
I'm going on Saturday, and I can't wait to see it. A season for the ages and Aaron Judge. That is the main attraction. I got to be honest.
Big question, though, Michelle. Are you going plain clothes, Yankee cap, or Cardinals cap?
Ooh, great question. Even though I live in New York City, and even though I, too, am frustrated with what's going on with the Cardinals, St. Louis girl, of course I'm wearing a Cardinals hat. I'm going to walk into Yankee Stadium and let them know who I am, and that is a girl that is proud to be from the Lou.
All right.
There you go. Good. Hey, Michelle, before we let you go real quick, we know that you follow college football, too. Who do you like in college football this year?
This is such a weird year in college football. I was doing my prep this week because I was like, oh, wow, it's week one. Better get up to date on this. College football really snuck up on us, and I was on vacation for the past 2 weeks, so I was doing my reading this week, and I was like, oh, yeah, expanded playoffs? Okay, that makes the regular season not feel as important. Oh, yeah. All of these West Coast teams are in the Big Ten, and the SEC looks different. All this conference realignment. It just doesn't feel the same way that it used to. And, okay, no Saban, no Harbaugh. Who's the villain in college football? It doesn't have the same juice to me this year that it once was. But, guys, I kind of like Ohio State this year. The consensus number 2 team in the country. Ryan Day is loaded with talent. This is one of the best Ohio State teams that we've seen in years. He doesn't have Harbaugh to contend with, even though he's had an incredible amount of regular season success. He's been dominant. When you don't beat Michigan and you don't bring home the big one, just kind of like how Cardinals fans feel about their team right now. That's not good enough in the state of Ohio. I think Ryan Day and the Ohio State Buckeyes are going to have a lot to say in college football this year.
Michelle, be careful because you know the Mizzou Tigers beat the Ohio State Buckeyes in the Cotton Bowl last year. So, you know, as Mizzou fans around here, they're very excited.
You calling yourself a Mizzou fan,
those
Carey?
Mizzou fans are very excited about
this guy.
how they beat the Ohio State Buckeyes. You know, you got to be careful. Michelle, it's crazy around here now. Mizzou is winning. Illinois is not. I'm all alone, and every day I hear about it.
Only some of it is crazy then.
CD, you call me for backup anytime. I
appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, Michelle, keep up the great work. We love hearing you back here on 101 at ESPN. Of course, you can listen to Unsportsmanlike 6 to 10 Eastern every single morning, Monday through Friday, on the network on ESPN Radio. Michelle, continue the great work and continue great success.
Thanks, guys. Always great talking to you. Love you. Miss you. Not only to you guys, but to St. Louis as a whole.
Hey, and don't pick the Jets. All right, just
I can't let you do it to yourself.
Don't do that. All right.
Good looking out. You know what? That's true friendship right there. To check me when I need to be checked and tell me the truth. So I appreciate you.
Yeah, but just
I've seen this guy, and I've talked to people he's dated before.
Yeah.
You don't want
bad
this,
news.
okay?
All right. We'll charm you at first, but then there's not much left to him.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, Michelle. We'll see you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
See
you.
you later.
See ya. All right, that's Michelle Smallmon. Used to be on these airways here on 101 ESPN. Great stuff out of her.
She's awesome.
She is. She's a sweetheart. There's no doubt about it. I don't love the team she took.
I texted her and I said, "You Steelers." She's like, "Oh, I left them off." I'm like,
bring them back.
And she said, "Well, maybe I'll take the 40." I didn't know the entire list. She's like, "Maybe I'll take the 49ers off." I'm like, "Don't take those guys
the 49ers
off." Not for Pittsburgh.
I mean, I
not
like
now.
For her not to choose Minnesota from like the Vikings or Falcons. We get that. Like that's just you're inviting your misery there. But the Jets,
she had some really good teams.
But
I think the teams are good until she got to the Jets.
I know.
She got some good.
The Bears,
the Dolphins, the 49ers, the Bengals. All those are good teams.
Yeah.
I don't know about the Bears.
No, I like the Bears.
Carey's in love with the Bears.
Did a wonderful job of choosing. You know, she said, she can attach it to Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah,
and she is from, technically,
she's from Illinois. There you go.
Technically.
ILL.
Technically.
Yeah. No, we're not doing that.
No, I.
We don't do gang symbols here.
Come on. But you can say, "Go Tiger."
We don't say that. You say
you
that.
said it.
Well, I want the Tiger. Go Tiger.
That's LSU.
It's not the same?
They don't even have the same coach.
It's a Tiger, man.
No.
It's a bunch of Tigers. It's the Auburn Tigers, the LSU Tigers, it's the Missouri Tigers. Go Tiger.
Oh, you get confused there with the old
I don't know which one.
First of all, you have a better accent than Brian Kelly. That's number one.
Yeah, my family.
My family.
That's a pleasure to be down here in Louisiana.
It certainly is. Love it down here.
Start saying Washington instead of Washington.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we have your chance right now to score a pair of tickets to the St. Louis Blues home opener against the Minnesota Wild on October 15th at Enterprise Center. Blues hockey is right around the corner, and single game tickets for the 24-25 season go on sale this Thursday at 10 a.m. Don't miss exciting new theme nights and can't miss giveaways this season. Get all the details at stlouisblues.com. You can also register to win tickets to the home opener at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 mobile app. Here's your trivia question to get these tickets. Who flipped off Carey Davis driving into work today? We shared the story early on. Who flipped off Carey Davis driving into work today? Text in now to 314-399-9646. That's the Air Comfort Service text line to win free tickets to the Blues home opener. Freedom Friday continues next on 101 ESPN. Freedom Friday continues here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. It's not the last Friday of the month. Next Friday is, but with Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, and Andrew Marsh all off, we decided to bump up Freedom Friday to today. So, Marsh, let's continue, man. What else we got?
All right, so we were just talking with Michelle Smallmon, and the Cardinals got brought up, and the 618 says the expectations are not the same for the Cardinals and the Blues. They never have been. In every city with multiple sports teams, the expectations are never the same. Would you agree with that statement?
Yes. Yeah, because I think things go in waves a lot of time. When you think about, I don't know, let's bring up a city that's got multiple. Pittsburgh. I mean, the Steelers' expectations are always going to be high. Why? Because they've had a rich history.
Yeah.
The Pirates have had pockets of good play.
Yeah, but they're surprised when the Pirates do something special.
Yeah,
like in that city.
I mean, it's a really big deal.
Yeah.
No, the Penguins have had a lot of success as well. So, do I think the expectations for the Steelers and Penguins at time were very high? I think so. But ultimately, if there's usually one dominant franchise in that city that has that long history, maybe even more success overall. And let's be real, the Cardinals have had more championship success than the Blues. I'm not going on a limb by saying that. So I think the expectations for the Cardinals are higher for right now. Now, if the Blues start, adding on here, they have multiple Stanley Cups. I think over time it might change. But
it's weird because I think the expectations are higher for the Cardinals right now, but there's more confidence in the Blues.
I think that's a fair statement. I think that's a great statement.
Which is weird because you got one team that's loaded with like the Goldie, Arenado, like Sonny Gray. Like, I mean, they're spending money and they're supposed to be contending for division title, which that's not happening. But that was the plan going into the season. But it's weird because the expectations are, they're closer to being a contender, or there should be. But the confidence level, I think, is higher with Blues fans. They're like, man, at least we know where we're at.
Right.
Expectations, and you just brought this to my mind. Expectations are usually higher when you have generational type players on your roster. You're talking about the Penguins and the Steelers, like you've had generational type of players on both of those rosters for multiple years in different spans, whether it was Mario Lemieux and Jaromir Jagr and now Sidney Crosby and Guinea Malkin. And with the Steelers, like the same thing, generational talent. When you got the entire 70s, how they had, I don't even know how many Hall of Famers they're up to now, maybe 20, when you look at the number. And then in the 2000s, and same thing with the Cardinals, but having multiple generational types of players for a team. Like the Blues had Brett Hall, and how the city was so excited when Wayne Gretzky got here. Like when
Jamie Rivers,
him too. Like
they drafted Jamie Rivers.
Like you get the excitement.
You're laughing at?
I was laughing at the text line, not you, sir.
No, the text line I saw it too, Carey. The text line
also says Jamie Rivers.
No,
there's 100 of them. They know what's up.
That is the correct answer to the trivia question today.
It is.
That's what that is?
Yeah, this guy here. But no, having those expectations, it comes with the territory. When you are accustomed to having future Hall of Fame players and having the success, people are going to expect you to do well. And now the Blues you're looking at this roster, maybe one or two of these guys, potentially, if they continue to have great success or if they take another step forward, could make it to the Hall of Fame. But you're not certain about that, right? And so you're looking at that team and saying, but they're adding. There's a level of excitement because even though those guys may not be some of the best players in hockey right now, but as a team, you could actually see them putting forth effort to make a run, make a push in the playoffs, and eventually get to the Stanley Cup at some point.
Yeah, I agree. It's weird. It's a weird dynamic right now.
Yeah, it is. But I like the way you phrase that. You're right. The expectations are higher right now for the Cardinals, but there's more confidence that the Blues are going to figure it out.
Yes.
And I think that has a lot to do with front office and the way that they're operating. Whereas the Cardinals, they have become just this meh team. Front office wise, not from a fan base standpoint, not from the history.
I'm not even saying the players are like that.
Not even the players. It's just the front office is just taking this approach of good enough. It should probably change the moniker. Come see your Cardinals.
It was good enough.
2024 St. Louis Cardinals. Come check them out. It's good enough.
We're fine.
Yeah, we're fine.
Be patient.
Be patient.
Just get in.
How's
that working out?
It's not.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not. And it's not good enough. That's the bottom line. All right. Marsh.
Can I read the text?
Sure,
real quick?
of course.
Oh, wow.
I just want to thank CD and Jamie for bringing me back for a third day in a row.
Oh, wow. That's our guy, Brandon.
Brandon, I was just about to tease that Brandon is in round 3,
If one
and
of you
he'll
guys
take
doesn't
on
take him out behind the woodshed
I love
today.
it. I think it's hilarious. Good for
either
him.
Marsh or me next. Round 3, the Gauntlet with Brandon here on 101 ESPN.
Warriors. 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
.402, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter, and for a third straight day, we welcome back Brandon. What's up, Brandon?
Oh, not a lot.
I love the spirit.
Yep.
You were just sending all kinds of it. You're just dotting CD and Jamie here.
I mean, it's kind of easy for a lot of. It's kind of set up on a tee.
Okay. All right. Okay, fella.
The 2-1 victory against both of us.
Blowouts, apparently, in Brandon's world.
You know what? I would be careful with your choice today.
It's part of the strategy. You'll get it in a second. So.
All right.
Okay, well, without further ado, Brandon, are you taking on Marsh or me?
Well, it is a Freedom Friday, which I imagine means Marsh is pretty busy.
Yes, he is.
True enough.
Very busy, yeah.
Maybe not have his head in the game today. So that might be the choice. Plus, we know, he crushes nice guys, and I've been a real...
Yeah, okay. That's...
Wow,
You know what? I gotta give it to you, Brandon.
Brandon's playing chess.
You have thought this one through. I like this. Nice job. Okay. All right.
I can respect that.
All right. We'll tell Marsh to spin that wheel, and then we'll send him to the cone of silence.
You can scratch his name off the list.
I can take it off now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Carey has a list of people, and you were on there, Brandon, but now we just made him take it off.
All right.
If you say so.
All right. Go ahead, Brandon.
All right, spin that wheel.
All right, Marsh.
All right, Marsh, get
the hell out of here. Yeah. What are we hoping for round 3 against Marsh? Brandon, what are you hoping for?
Baseball or random or my best shot.
Okay, do I say that correctly? Is it?
It's random once again.
All right, random once again.
Oh boy, it was slowing down at hockey. Then it went to random.
So Carey is giving us the launch codes here. All right, Brandon, you know how this works. You're going to get 4 random questions, all worth 2 points unless you ask for the options. If you ask for the options, they're worth 1 point. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
As I will be.
Question 1. Alexi Lawless became a soccer standout on the U.S. men's national team during the 1994 World Cup. What was his position on the pitch?
I genuinely don't know. I don't think options help here because there's 4 positions that you're probably going to use as categories. I think the most likely option is midfielder, so I'll pick midfielder. Final answer.
Yep.
All right, Brandon, question 2. How many eyes does a bee have?
It's, I'll take the options.
2, 5, or 16?
15, final answer.
Question number 3. What is the name of the cross-dressing mad scientist in the 1975 cult classic, The Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Oh God! I'm going to have nightmares if I don't get this.
It's a pretty scary show.
He's going to visit me in my dreams if I don't get this. Is what's going to happen. He's I mean, I can tell you, the nationality he is and where he's from and everything. What is his name? Give me the options.
Is it Janelle Scott, Elvira the Temptress, or Dr. Frankenfurter?
Gosh, I hate myself right now.
Don't do that, Brandon.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Dr. Frankenfurter. It sounds like the silliest option of them, so, yeah.
Final answer?
Yes.
All right, question 4. Name Tupac Shakur's highest-selling non-greatest hits album. Name Tupac's highest-selling non-greatest hits album.
Options.
All Eyes on Me, Nothing But Trouble, Me Against the World.
Me Against the World, final answer.
All right.
All right, let's get Marshy back in here.
Brandon, you okay?
Not really.
Okay, all right.
Upset about.
All right.
Sounds.
Yeah, I'm upset about what the guy there in the chat said. I knew the actor and everything.
All right, careful. Marshy's putting his ears back on.
Here we go. All right, Marsh is back from the Cone of Silence. Marsh, how are you?
I'm doing great.
How was the Cone of Silence?
It was fantastic.
Any jams in there or no?
Yeah, we were. We were listening to a great jingle. You can't run,
but you can't drive high.
You shouldn't.
No, you shouldn't at all.
Absolutely
no,
not.
Absolutely, yeah. Be
Highly
careful.
frowned upon.
Yeah, be careful out there. All right, Marsh. Your category today is random.
Okay.
Jamie?
Oh, you better pack a lunch.
Oh, yeah.
Marsh, are you ready?
Sure.
Question number 1. Alexi Lawless became a soccer standout on the U.S. men's national team during the 1994 World Cup. What was his position on the pitch?
Options.
Defender, forward, goalkeeper.
Well, he talks a lot of crap, but I don't know if he can back it up. I feel like goal scorer would do that. Let's go with defender. We had Jamie Rivers was a defender. We'll go with defender. Finally,
Jamie couldn't score either.
That's not what
I
I'm
could
saying.
talk a lot of crap.
Oh, okay.
That's for sure.
You're saying JC can't hit a curveball?
Question 2. Let him be focused, please.
Sorry.
Thank you. Question 2. How many eyes does a bee have?
Ooh. Oh, wow. Options.
2, 5, or 16?
Well, I'm going to go with 16. Final answer.
Question number 3. What is the name of the cross-dressing mad scientist in the 1975 cult classic, The Rocky Horror Picture Show?
No clue. Options.
Is it Janelle Scott, Elvira the Temptress, or Dr. Frankenfurter?
Can you say those again?
Is it Janelle Scott, Elvira the Temptress, or Dr. Frankenfurter?
Let's go with Dr. Frankenfurter. Final answer.
All right. Question 4. Name Tupac's highest-selling non-greatest hits album.
Options.
All Eyes on Me, Nothing But Trouble, Me Against the World.
Oh, All Eyes on Me. That sounds... I feel like I'm going to go with that. There's a song in MLB The Show 24. I'm sure the players know this. It's like, All Eyes on Me. And it came to my mind, so I'll go with that. Final answer.
All right. Let's go over these. What is the name of the cross-dressing mad scientist in the 1975 cult classic, The Rocky Horror Picture Show? Brandon, you said Dr. Frankfurter. Marsh, you said the same thing, Dr. Frankfurter. Correct answer is...
It is Dr. Frankenfurter.
Both of you needed the options. 1-1 tie.
Really upset I needed the options for that. I'm very upset about
Hey,
it.
Brandon, you lock in. You're okay. You're all right. How many eyes does a bee have? Brandon, you said 16. Marsh, you said 16. Correct answer is...
5.
5 eyes.
2 large compound eyes and 3 simple eyes.
5.
Right after I said final answer, I wanted to change it, and I'm just like, too late. So.
1-1 tie between Brandon and Marsh. Brandon Marsh, Philadelphia Phillies. Name Tupac's highest-selling non-greatest hits album. We'll get to that in a second. Alexi Lawless became a soccer standout on the U.S. men's national team during the 1994 World Cup. What was his position on the pitch? Brandon, you said midfielder. Unfortunately, not an option. Marsh, you said defender. Correct answer is...
Defender.
No! Defender.
And he was vicious, too. He got himself in lots of fights, and he was, Alexi Lawless was a real deal.
The red hair.
Yeah. He used to have that long hair. He'd throw elbows into guys and stuff.
My favorite type of soccer player.
Huh?
2-1. Marsh with the lead.
Final
It comes
question.
down to this, boys. It comes down to this. You guys have different options. Or, I'm sorry, you guys took the options. You have different answers. One of you is correct. Name Tupac's highest-selling non-greatest hits album. Brandon, you said Me Against the World. Marsh, you said All Eyes on Me. You connected some dots there with the video game. If it's All Eyes on Me, Brandon gets halted in round 3 of the Gauntlet. If it's Me Against the World, then we go to a walk-off.
Ooh, baby.
Carey, name Tupac's highest-selling non-greatest hits album.
Both of those are great albums, great songs with the name in it as well. Got Me Against the World is a good one. Got All Eyes on Me.
All Eyes on Me.
All Eyes on Me.
Which was also in the Dynasty, the Patriots throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, that's right.
That song.
All Eyes on Me.
It's All Eyes on Me.
Brandon.
Oh!
You have chosen poorly.
You lose today.
Brandon, this is where we have to say goodbye because you must be a good guy.
So, Brandon,
Apparently so.
I figured out what happened here. Is quite honestly, you should have been tight-lipped about the strategy.
Yeah.
You know, the wheel hears everything in here, and as soon as you basically let on that you're like a fake jerk,
The wheel
that's when I knew
doesn't like
Marshy was
that.
going to eat your soul.
Yeah.
That's a good call. That's a real good call. Hey, Brandon,
I appreciate the strategy.
Yeah,
though.
you've been a lot of fun the last couple days, man. Have a great weekend. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, as long as my 2-year-old doesn't find out, because when the Cardinals were getting booed off the field the other night, she said, "Cardinals poopied." That would take the life out of me right now.
Yeah.
She's very observant.
Absolutely, yeah. All right, Brandon. See you, buddy.
Good job, Brandon.
Good job.
Yeah, have a great one, guys.
Nice job there, Marsh.
Marsh.
You went 3 out of 4. That was a tough one, man.
That was tough. I didn't know any of those. I mean, I just guessed on all of them.
Hey, well, it doesn't matter. You won. You posted a dub.
Good job.
Nice job.
All Eyes on Me.
It's a great song.
It is.
Well, the song I was referring to, the video game's not even the Tupac song.
I didn't think so.
No.
I didn't think so either.
I didn't think
When I heard
so.
you talk about it, I was like, well, Marshy watched Dynasty. He's getting it mixed up because they play it throughout the whole thing. All Eyes on Me.
It's funny because when I like saw that, I'm like, where did I hear this lately?
Exactly.
It was Dynasty. Yeah.
Nah, it wasn't from that.
Either way, Marsh, congratulations on the
Thank
win.
you.
Don't be a Kirk Cousins right now and don't celebrate a win, okay? Don't just sit there. Nah, my defense saved me again.
All the time out.
Marshy, go ahead and be a Jordan Bennington and
There
don't
you
let
go.
it affect you.
There you go. Same guy, right? Same thing.
Yeah.
Don't you put
You
Jordan
expect to
Bennington
win.
and Kirk Cousins in the same sentence ever.
I'll hit both the poles next to me.
There you go.
did.
Both the poles.
Both the poles.
Freedom Friday continues next on one of the posts.
Those balls.
The Ryan poles.
Watch out for those poles.
You gotta
You
watch
said
out for
Brandon
those.
Marsh. I was thinking Brandon Marsh. I was like, he didn't play for the Phillies. He was a New York Jet.
And a Bear. And
a Bronco.
No.
And
Brandon Marsh, Phillies outfielder. Anyways, Freedom Friday continues next in the Fast Lane. the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
I love
Freedom
you guys.
Friday. We love you too, Carey.
Love you too,
You guys
Carey.
are, my favorite sickos in the world.
I take that as a compliment.
Yeah,
Me
you
too.
are.
Yeah.
You've known a lot of guys.
I have. A lot of sickos.
A lot of sick people.
You're my favorite.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
As you are one of mine.
Yeah, samesies.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right, Marsh, let's continue this Freedom Friday on a non-Freedom Friday.
All right, we have a question from Grant Francis Fan Club. Are you worried that Masyn Winn's success might be a one-off since we've seen so many young Cardinals recently unable to continue their success?
So if you're asking us if we feel as though that once the Cardinals get their talons into a young player and start to help him, that he is going to
help air quotes,
that he will basically fall apart, and in 3 years he will be a Tampa Ray. Yeah, we have that fear. 100%, yes.
In fairness to all parties involved, that usually happens before they become what Masyn Winn is.
Well, I don't know. Dylan Carlson, he finished third in Rookie of the Year voting.
Decent.
Okay.
Yeah, he had some hope.
And where is he now?
He's in Tampa.
He's a Ray.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You got Sean Armstrong in return.
Hell, Richie Palacio showed just a little bit. Just a little bit of...
and they got rid of him.
Good. Yep.
We got to get rich for him, though, so I'm okay. I think we won that trade.
That was a good one.
Yeah. No, we have.
Yeah.
I don't know about the Carlson for Stretch Armstrong trade.
Yeah.
To be determined.
Really?
Yeah. Who'd you
Give it time, will
you?
you?
Forget how much?
As much time as needed. It's a small sample size.
Stretch won't be a Cardinal much longer.
I don't know, Jamie. You know as well as I do. You keep going out there and doing that, he'll be a Cardinal.
Just gave him up.
He just wanted to be here.
He did.
He was excited.
No, I think Masyn Winn. And look, first of all, we don't know, right? Because Jordan Walker had a really nice year last year. I know at one point he got sent down early, then he came back up. You look at Jordan Walker's numbers, solid last season.
They were pretty good.
Yeah. So
you thought it was something really great to build off of.
Absolutely. And then he came up this year, and it just unfortunately some of the things that they wanted to see him improve on, he didn't until now. And I would like to think, guys, that Masyn Winn's defense is going to keep him at the big league level for the foreseeable future.
I agree with that.
And the offense has been there too, obviously. But
I think with Jordan Walker, there was not enough. I think it was 20 games. Like, it took you 120 games to say, okay, no more Nolan Gorman. Like, it was 20 games.
What's your problem with Gorman?
I don't have a problem with
the
Gorman.
batting average and the strikeouts.
Those are two problems.
I got you. Got you covered.
What's your problem?
I
got flipped off this morning driving to work.
I did get flipped off on there. I got cut off by some idiot on the road in a black pickup truck.
Yeah,
then he
his
sped
problem.
up when I tried to go by him.
Some people say it was a hell of a pickup truck.
Gave me the bird.
Flipped him the bird. Despicable.
That's horrible.
Ridiculous.
It is. It absolutely
You let me know who did that to you,
I'll
Carey.
let you know.
Okay?
As soon as I catch him.
Yeah.
He drove off. I haven't seen him since.
Go ahead, continue, though. What were you saying about
I
Winn?
have no clue.
Okay, fair.
All right.
Yeah.
He said something negative about Gorman.
That's where he threw me off.
yeah.
No, I didn't say anything. Nolan Gorman is who he is. He should have been playing every day. You knew he was going to strike out.
That I agree with.
You knew he was going to have a low batting average.
Mm-hmm.
He only got 19 home runs right now.
And
he would have hit 40 home runs.
There you go.
And deal with it. You said it was okay. So he should have played every single game. Never took a day off.
If he's hitting 8th and he does that, how do you feel about it? You
feel
okay?
Fine. You're fine.
I feel
One
okay.
for 4.
1 for 4, and he hits a big fly.
And the big fly is, there you go. And he hits 40 home runs. 35.
Does that play if you don't have a lineup full of underperforming
It's not
guys?
his fault. That ain't his fault.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I told you guys several times that the lack of
I think
production.
we're making the same point.
Yeah.
The lack of production overall from Arenado and Goldie has really screwed things up this year.
Yeah.
More than just wins and losses.
brother.
So remember the other day when I told you you have coaches that yell at the younger players because they can't yell at the superstar? That's essentially what this is.
So they sent Gorman down to get to Goldie?
We can't send you down, but see what we're going to have to do because of you? You out of here.
They just
Blood
post.
is on your hands.
They just post the Major League Baseball transaction report right there on Goldie's locker. It's just Gorman sent down.
Picture Gorman with a sad face.
Yeah. All right. Marsh, what's our next Freedom Friday?
Well, I was just going to say Nolan Gorman. He hadn't hit a home run since July 22nd.
Yeah.
How many ABs since July 22nd?
He missed like 8 games in that stretch. Huh?
That is not his fault.
He can't hit a home run if he's on the bench.
Yeah, he got a real long bat.
Right.
To hit from there.
Can't strike out 3 times, but then hit you a home run eventually in a game. If he's sitting on the bench, Marshy.
So we had Jimmy Roberts used to say, you're going to need a really long stick to score from the press box. Okay, Jimmy.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Thank you. Thank you for noticing.
Confidence sky high.
44 ABs.
44 at-bats.
Since he had last hit a home run in the majors.
And you're crushing this guy? Huh? It was you, wasn't it? You sent him down.
Well, I'm just saying. I didn't send him down.
Yeah, I'm watching
you. You were thinking it.
You were.
Honestly, he hasn't been hitting.
No, he hasn't.
Even if that's why he wasn't playing.
He's going to hit 35 bombs for you. He's going to strike out a lot.
Well, he wasn't hitting home runs when he was playing.
He would have. With more ABs.
He had 7 hits in August.
Well,
7 impactful hits.
I don't think they were.
I don't think they were either.
All singles.
Yeah, maybe. Anyways,
he had 2 doubles.
5 singles.
There you go. I had that last night.
How many RBI?
No, Jamie, that's
no.
That's different. We're talking about different doubles.
1 walk.
My bad.
1 walk in the month of August. If you're going to strike out or hit a home run, you have to find ways to get on base, and that includes walking.
You don't.
Well, he's not hitting home runs.
There you go. That's the problem.
That's the only problem. Because if he's hitting home runs, he'd still be here.
Right. We're not talking about Masyn Winn.
He'd be hitting home runs.
Talking about Gorman.
Marshy, on the heels of me talking about a double, we do get a text from the 636 says, "Can we get Jamie Rivers' old-fashioned recipe again, please, on Freedom Friday?"
The Mo fashion?
No, not that one. Those have been discontinued.
Oh.
Yeah, we had to let everybody go.
What bourbon do you prefer?
So my girlfriend is really good at making the old-fashioned, and she uses Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. It's a little stronger.
It's very strong.
But
here on your chest.
But
you don't
a lot of old fashions, Carey, they're really sweet. They make them really sweet. And it's like you feel like you're drinking like a kid's drink.
Yeah.
Maybe not, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So we use a barrel proof. It's a little stronger. And then she uses the barrel aged cherries. And she does a little bit of the cherry juice and the cherries. And then we'll put the little smoker on top of it and smoke it. Oh, it's good.
Take my money.
That way you get a little bit of the sweetness. But then you get the burn at the end of the sip, just like you want. You want a real cocktail.
Yeah, the Elijah Craig it does burn.
Barrel proof? Oh yeah,
it burns. I think that's what you gave me.
So I give you barrel proof or small batch?
I don't remember, but it is Elijah Craig.
The small batch was really good too,
and it has a little.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know you're alive.
A little gasoline.
It'll warm you up a little bit.
Yeah, on a cold summer's night.
But that's the key to it right there.
Is it one of those things where you know you're alive, but you think you're going to die type thing?
Not quite.
No.
But you do know you're alive. There's no mistake about it.
This is like a spa. It's like a spa for your palate.
Okay.
Yeah. You go to the sauna, you get warm, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm following you, Jamie.
You follow it up with the massage, Carey. You pay a little extra. Yeah. You get the spa, the sauna, the massage. Maybe the cold
I knew
tub.
what you meant.
Yeah.
Other people may not have.
No. And then maybe get a cocktail.
They play for Cleveland.
What does he?
Now that guy.
He didn't do it. He's weird. Listen. He's got a sore shoulder and can't even do anything about it.
Oh, he's got a sore shoulder from something, all right.
A throwing arm. Nothing he can do about it.
Is that why you had to have somebody else massage?
He can't do anything. Where is he going to get it?
Will that be the worst contract in sports history?
Probably.
That was fully guaranteed.
Probably.
And it took Joe Flacco getting them to the playoffs last year.
And 3 other guys.
Joe Flacco.
Gator says no bitters or sweet vermouth. No sweet vermouth. That would be a Manhattan if you added that. Yes, bitters. Of course,
and
bitters.
Splashback Deuce. Thank you for noticing. I don't think anybody else noticed. Anybody else picked it up. It's a fast lane on 101 ESPN. You guys all went, yeah. I said a cold summer's night.
We're so used to you, Like, just go with it, Carey.
You didn't know if I was joking or not.
I had no idea.
All right, it's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We're doing Freedom Friday this Friday because nobody's showing up for work next Friday except for me. So keep sending in your Freedom Friday questions. We'll hit them next on 101 ESPN.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals take on the Minnesota Twins tonight. Andre Palante on the mound going up against David Festa. First pitch is at 7:10. If you missed anything from today's show, like our interview with Michelle Smallmon, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Freedom Friday continues, so get your questions into the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. More of your Freedom Friday topics coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Friday continues here on 101 ESPN. The Fast Lane, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. Here is Andrew Marsh with their latest Freedom Friday topics.
From the 636, where would you rank the Blues coaching staff right now versus the rest of the league? Top 10, top 50%. How much faith do you have in the old dog in Drew Bannister?
Carey?
Well, the fact that Drew Bannister showed a lot last season in an unfortunate role, taking over for Craig Berube and just thrust it into this spot where, just meeting some of the guys, not really knowing the guy, and how much were they going to be willing to trust him. So coming into another season, contract, no issues there. He's going to be here for the foreseeable future. You add a veteran like Claude Julien, who is a Stanley Cup winning coach who's done it in this league. So you now have a veteran leadership from Claude, and you have a coach in Drew who is, just well beyond his years, very, very understanding and very, what's the word I'm looking for? Just trusts himself as a coach.
He's
Understands,
confident.
has great confidence because he was able to hire a guy like Julien. So I think the Blues right now, I would say, as far as coaching staff goes, and you got Otter, who Jamie loves, right? I
do.
One of the better coaches in the league as well. I'd say top 10, Jamie.
Yeah, it's aggressive.
Hey,
I don't
are you
hate
trying
it.
to win?
No, I'm just looking, being honest, I'm looking at some of the coaches around the NHL, and there are some franchises that have some really good coaching staffs. But
what does he know?
But what I like...
Sammy serious over here.
No, go ahead, sir.
Do you want my opinion or not, Anthony?
I do. Please, go ahead.
We need your opinion.
Yeah, we do.
Stop talking.
Okay. Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Marshy turned his mic off.
Just to be safe.
Just to be safe.
Yep.
No, but I do think the Blues coaching staff is in the top half of the league. What I like about their coaching staff is what you brought up. They have a really good blend now. So Drew Bannister's been coaching, 7 years professional now. So it's not like he just woke up one morning and they gave him the NHL job. Like, yeah, here you go. No, he's coached in junior hockey, the American League. Like, he's moved around from American League team to another American League team, not being fired. That's when the Blues shifted their team from San Antonio up to Springfield. The Blues thought enough of him to drag him with the franchise to Springfield. He got an opportunity last year, and I thought his confidence was great. I thought his approach was great. I thought the amount of accountability that he demanded from his team was great. Steve Ott is a hell of a coach. He's got a lot of years under his belt, too. Let's not forget Steve Ott's also a Stanley Cup champion coach. He was an assistant coach, mind you, but that doesn't matter. He has been to the last game when the clock went to 0 and they were champions. So he had to coach all of that way, too, with Craig Berube and that staff that year, Mike Van Ryn. They brought home the cup. So you got Claude Julien, who is the elder statesman on that staff. You got Steve Ott, who's a younger coach, but they both have Stanley Cups. You got Mike Weber. By the way, Webby he's a beauty. The guys really like him. He's got high energy. He communicates very well. He's just very matter of fact with what he says. Like, it's never like, hey, it's very businesslike. No, not good enough. Got to do it this way. Okay, let's do that. Boom, and just keep the feet moving. Which is great because guys don't feel challenged.
Yeah.
Like when you have a boss that says something that stands there and waits, like you feel like almost challenged and you feel like you want to say something but you shouldn't, and you're like, yeah.
Right.
Webby doesn't do that. Doesn't provide the opportunity. Just turns away after we're done. Like, you've been told, no, let's go do it. That's all.
Right.
So I do like the combination of what they have, and I think that the fact that they're going to have a complete off season to kind of build what they think this team should look like, especially now when they know what their roster is going to be, but at least they have really good options. I think it's going to be great. I think that this coaching staff is going to do a really good job with this team. And based on the results and where they end up, not just next year, but the year after as well, this could be a top 10 coaching staff in the league.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. It's a Freedom Friday. Marcia's got our next topic.
All right, let's stick with the Blues here. From the 618, do you guys feel like the Blues are perfectly positioned to make a big move when they feel they're a contender? Feels like a very good Brady Tkachuk suitor if he asked to be out down the road.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I would certainly love to have Brady Tkachuk. But I was just what's funny is I was just talking about this with somebody, I think it was yesterday. They're asking me about the Blues and, how long do you think it'll be before they're competitive and whatnot. And I said, the Blues find themselves actually in a really good spot because once all of these young guys become mainstays, like the Bolduc, Dean, Snuggerud, Dvorsky, Broberg, Holloway, Neighbors, Hofer, like, stop me when you've heard enough. Anthony, the key to a salary cap team is what? The young players carrying the load.
Sure.
Because when they do that, they're all cost controlled. None of those guys that I just mentioned are making big bucks.
Yep.
And they won't be in 2 years, even 3 years, when everybody's on the team together. And you might have Lindstein by then. You might have, like, Stenberg. Like, you might have even more guys.
Yeah.
So now what I can see there is, to your point, which you bring up all the time, is now you go kill a housefly with a sledgehammer.
Sure.
Now you go get pieces that can put you over the top. And so that's what I see Doug Armstrong setting up for right now with Alex Steen is you got Binnington and Hofer. So that's a window of at least 3 years where you have an unbelievable tandem.
Yeah.
Following that, Hofer might be the one. He might be your number one guy and Binnington moves on. Doesn't matter. You still have a number one goalie. Your D-core could be filled with young bodies at this point. And Colton Parayko, in 2 years, 3 years, he's not going to have faded that much. Like we saw what Jay Bouwmeester was doing at 40 years old because he could skate so well. Then your forward group with Thomas, Kyrou, Neighbors, Bolduc, Zach Dean, Dvorsky, Snuggerud, Holloway. Like that right there, that's just 8 guys.
Loaded.
That's not Stenberg, that's 9. And I didn't say Lindstein, he's on the D. So now if you added let's just get crazy here. 2 years from now, Connor McDavid is a free agent. If you're 3/4 of your team is cost controlled with young guys, you could maybe put a contract out for Connor McDavid or somebody of that ilk to come in and just boom, now we're contenders. Or you go get 2 players,
for that price.
two $8 million players at that point, and you're adding that way. So I do think the Blues are positioned really, really well to be able to do that in the future. The key to it all, though, guys, perfectly honest, is these young guys have to perform to what their projections are.
Yeah, and I just to add to that because I think you broke that down in a perfect way. Even if you don't get, let's flip it almost to the negative too. Having young guys like that perform and they don't have the big contracts, it allows you to, if you do make a mistake in free agency, it allows you to overcome that easier too. So. Yes, looking at it from the McDavid standpoint, that's fantastic. That's what you want, that guy to put you over the top. If you have younger guys too, look, free agency is still a roll of the dice. You don't know if that player is damaged goods or if he's going to match what he did before. Sometimes you get a guy from a different line. He was so successful because he played with better players before, and you think that production's just going to transfer over. It doesn't. The young guys will help you overcome some of those free agent mistakes too.
And let's not forget that if you have all that cap space, an offer sheet's not out of the question. You go find a restricted free agent on a good team where this guy's dominating.
Yeah.
And you go, okay, fine. I'll overpay. We did it before.
Right.
Because I'm willing to go to $9-10 million on player X, Y, or Z.
Sure.
Why wouldn't I do the same for another player that I know now is an absolute stud at a young age, and I can pull him away from that franchise and put him in here for a number of years.
Absolutely. That's Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter, Andrew Marsh. It's the Fast Lane. Freedom Friday next on 101 ESPN. ESPN, Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. We continue Freedom Friday here.
Yes.
Marsh, what do we got next?
From the 636, are the Cardinals ownership running the team like a small market team instead of a mid-market team the last 2 years?
No, I think they've been running it like a mid-market team, and I think that's part of the problem. I really do. I think being a mid-market team actually puts you at a disadvantage. This is just my opinion. But if you are a big market team, yes, you're expected to spend. Yes, you're expected to get up to that luxury tax or even go over it. But you know that you're going to be in the running for the big dogs. When Shohei Ohtani hits the market and you're a big market team, Dodgers, Yankees, whoever, you know you're going to have a shot at him. Bryce Harper, same deal. Trey Turner. You can go out there and sign the big guys. So that's the big market teams. I actually think the small market teams, the ones that are trying, so not like Pittsburgh, not like, some of these other teams that just flat out, they don't care, Colorado, Miami. If you're a small market team, you also know that you can't go for those big players. You have to be more savvy. You have to lean on your scouting, your farm system, your development team, i.e. the Milwaukee Brewers or the Rays. Teams that realize this is who we are. We're not going to spend big. We're going to have to trade a Corbin Burns. Imagine not having a decision to make. Decision's already made for you. We can't spend all this money on Corbin Burns. We have to trade him. So now you can hold him up to the highest bidder. We know we can't sign Shohei Ohtani, but we can sign Rhys Hoskins, and his market has dwindled because he was hurt all last year. You can approach things differently. Now let's go to the Cardinals, and let's go to a mid-market team. Well, you got half your foot in one side and half your foot in the other. We can't get Shohei Ohtani, but we can get Sonny Gray. Or we can get Wilson Contreras, or we can get Dexter Fowler, or we can get Mike Leach.
You're still able to spend good chunks of money.
Absolutely.
But you're not able to spend elite amounts of money.
And your fan base is also saying, I know you're not Milwaukee. I know you're not Tampa. You can spend. So they do. So they wind up there in the middle, 13, 12, 11, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then from a farm system standpoint, well, we've got these veterans now. We got to roll with these veterans. We have some young guys that we like, but those young guys aren't getting opportunities because you're not Tampa or you're not whoever, and you have no other choice. So now it's like you're blocking some of your younger players, or you're not extending them full opportunities to just play. You're in the middle. I actually think it works against you.
Yeah, I think that's the part that I hate the most is you feel the need. And I understand, but we were talking about the Blues a couple of seconds ago. I feel like they're doing a really good job of planning for the present as well as planning for the future. Like, there is a clear plan. I think the Cardinals, they're focused solely on the right now, like the present, which is why you go out and get Lance Lynn and Kyle Gibson instead of maybe Gordon Graceffo is a guy that you can put into that starting rotation. Maybe it's McGreevy. We've seen some good things from those guys, but we haven't seen enough because they haven't had the opportunities. And they may not have the opportunity next year if they pick up the contracts of both of those pitchers. So I agree. I think it's because you are a middle of the pack type of market, and you're not a lower, you're not a higher, you're just right there in the middle. And you're the St. Louis Cardinals. The expectation is you got to win. Like, you got to win championships. And so we can't go full-fledged youth movement because we're the Cardinals. Mm-hmm. We can't go spend Shohei money because we're the Cardinals. Yep. But we're going to get you just enough to get you to feel good. And if all things go right, you just watch what happens.
Yeah.
But what if all goes wrong? Which you have your two best players not playing at the best player level. It's kind of all things going wrong, which has a trickle-down effect on everybody else.
Going wrong, that's for sure.
Right.
Trickle effect on everything else.
Because that's the thing, Carey, you're right. They're spending money. They're spending money on Goldschmidt this season. They're spending money on Nolan Arenado. So it's like, well, hey, listen, we got you that bike two years ago. Okay?
Come on.
Okay. Mom, Dad, the bike, the wheel's popping off.
Yeah, but we got it.
Yeah, we got it, though.
But it was a really good bike.
It was
the best bike available.
And we spent on it.
The chain keeps popping.
We budgeted it. This was in our budget. We got Mom, I can't drive this thing anymore. It doesn't matter.
Find a way.
Find a way.
Yeah, but it doesn't work. It's missing a tire.
Find a way.
You want me to ride on one wheel?
Well, then I guess you'll walk.
I want you to put the. I want you to find it. You know what I want you to do? I've already spent that money on that bike. I need you to go down to, the thrift shop or maybe
garage sale.
Garage
Go
sale.
find some parts.
Go
for
find
it.
some parts for it, and you're going to be fine. That bike is going to be fine. Now, when you're riding down the street and that wheel pops off, you find yourself.
Over the handlebars.
Ankle caught in the spokes. I mean,
stitches.
That stinks. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
I had to ride a bike once downtown Chicago after a Vikings-Bears game. Wasn't fun.
Yeah.
It was scary, actually. It was very scary.
Was it a bad bike or just a scary experience?
It was a scary experience. The bike was
what
fine.
What time was it?
Oh, it was probably around like 4 or 5
p.m.?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
On a Sunday.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that scary.
I remember
on Michigan Avenue.
Yeah.
So I remember we had a bike growing up, and my brother and I, we were older at this point, and so we had gone to the bar, and we'd rode our bikes.
Were you guys 14?
These bikes, older bar.
I may have been 15.
Makes sense.
But we rode our bikes because it wasn't far from the house.
Yeah.
We weren't going to drive a car. We ride our bikes, you know?
I gotcha.
So my brother pissed me off at the bar. I don't know, like we were just being silly. So I went and unscrewed like the one bolt for the pedal, just the pedal. Nothing malicious, just the pedal.
Okay, I was picturing him
the
wheel. Yeah, that front part.
I'm not that sick. Okay. Not to my brother. So we're riding, and he's behind me. He's trying to catch up. He's yelling at me, and we had heard, police can pull you over for driving a bike too, and when you had a few drinks, you're like, whatever, So sure as there's a cop that kind of pulls up behind us, but he's not like pulling us over. He's just driving, trying not to hit two bikes that are driving down the side of the road.
He's
Get out of the road.
He's not assuming you guys are hammered.
Correct.
Yeah, and Marsh, I hear you on that.
But we
going back to
I agree. But we, are like, oh my God. So then he's like trying to take off. Well, my brother, he tries to take off and the pedal falls off. So now he doesn't even go back. He leaves the pedal and he's one-legged it.
Leave it.
I can only imagine what the cop was thinking. He's like, well, go back and get your pedal, buddy, son. No pedal. But he was like, one leg, like pushing really hard.
I gotta get away.
All the way home. He's like, you son of a.
Probably thought with the text line things, we had multiple people text in. That bike was sick.
There you go.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it certainly
Jamie's
was. Yeah.
sick for breaking it.
Yeah, true.
I thought it was funny.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We got our Sports Six-Pack next, so keep your questions rolling, your comments rolling, and everything. We'll do a Sports Six-Pack on a Freedom Friday next on 101 ESPN.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN 502. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Jamie Rivers for now. Carey Davis for now. Andrew Marsh. Anthony Stalter.
We're just getting you ready for next Friday.
Yeah. Making sure I'm ready. Sports Six-Pack time. So if you got a question, 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. Fire away, Marsh.
Question number 1.
From the 618 question for Jamie, everyone is crazy for high school football in the States. In Canada, are people as crazy for high school hockey?
No, it's high school hockey is a thing. It's a thing, but it's not like a big thing. Kids, let me word this properly. Kids who play high school hockey are the kids that aren't playing on a competitive team. So if you're not playing for a club team or playing junior hockey or for the high-end teams,
right,
then you can play for the high school team. And in fact, the high school that I went to in Canada had a rule that if you had any AAA players or junior hockey players, they weren't allowed to play on your hockey team.
Really?
Yeah, to keep it fair so that, because
competition level.
Some schools just stock up with these players and they try to run the table.
Yeah.
But no, the high school hockey is more of a recreational thing, at least where I'm from, and certainly through all of Ontario. I don't know about some of the other provinces if they take it more seriously. I don't think they do, because I've never heard anything about high school hockey in Canada, and I lived there for a long time. So no, it's not the same.
Sounds like
question number 2.
JV football.
Kind of. Yeah.
From the
Which there's nothing wrong with that.
No. Eventually you'll be on varsity.
Work hard.
There you go.
From the 636, do you believe Ollie Marmol is managing like he's going to get fired if the Cardinals miss the playoffs, while the front office is operating like they're one game back of the playoffs and not having a 1% chance of making the postseason?
Oh, run that by us again? Sorry.
Okay.
None of us were listening.
I mean, no, I was listening. I was trying to. Yeah.
All right.
Where are you?
I was. Yeah.
Jamie.
He wasn't.
Are we ready? Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
Do you believe that Ollie Marmol is managing like he's going to get fired if the Cardinals miss the playoffs, while the front office is operating like they are one game back of the playoffs and not having a 1% chance of making the postseason?
I think they're both operating the second way you put that. I think they're both operating like they're still in it, and this is the best way to go about it. I think most managers, not all, but most managers, rely on the veterans. They push come to shove, they tuck tail, they abandon any sort of development that may have happened in the previous 3 months and say, I'm going to go with the guy that's got the back of the baseball card numbers. And I think that's how Ollie has decided to manage things. It's not all his fault. You can't blame everything on Ollie. And I'm not saying you Marsh, but you in general. You can't just throw it all on
blame him all the time
on Ollie, because these guys have underperformed. So you're Ollie. You're trying to just piece this thing together, jumpstart it in any of the... He's the one that's facing the media every single night. How you get your team going? Well, we're just going to keep working this, that, and everything. What do you want him to say? What do you want him to say? He can't call players out. That ain't going to help.
No, people get mad about that.
Exactly. He can't pat him on the back. Right. He called out Tyler O'Neill. Ollie. They wanted Ollie fired. He has stuck by and supported some of the other players. They want Ollie fired. I don't know if Ollie's a good manager or not. I really don't. I think he's working through things because he's an inexperienced manager too. Would I go with a more experienced manager moving forward if they do fire? Yeah, I would. But in terms of right now, Ollie has decided that I'm gonna rely on the veterans and I'm gonna do the platoon thing or the splits, however you want to call it, the splits thing. I think it's dumb, but I also don't know if he has any better options. He's got 7 deuce offsuit right now, and he's trying to work with it.
Get out of the hand, shouldn't you?
Too late.
You put too much money in.
It's a high blind, and he's in. He's in a bad spot.
Question number 3.
From the 636, what is the last thing each one of you would be a leader of? Example would be Stalter being the leader of the Dave Matthews Band fan club.
Yeah, that's accurate. Wow. I think that's perfect. Nailed it for me.
Ooh, wow. Well, Cleveland Brown chair committee.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
The Cleveland Brown, anything.
Mm-hmm.
Although I think if they offered you a coaching job, like, hey, we want you to coach the running backs, like you'd be decked out in brown and orange
every day.
Yeah. If we're following that pattern, then for me it would have to be, president of the Chicago Blackhawks fan club.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way.
No?
No.
You don't like those guys?
No.
No. Why not, man?
You know what? Jamie played for a lot of NHL teams. I'm very proud that he never put that uniform on.
Oh, I could have. I said no.
Really?
Wow.
Never happened.
Really?
I was about to say. Wouldn't you have at one point?
I would have if they paid me enough. Then I would have thrown it on the ground every day. Be like, that's right.
You'd be stepping all over that logo.
No, you wouldn't.
In the locker room.
You've been waiting on that check to come through and make it clear.
Yeah.
Money changes a lot of things. It's weird.
It's not personal. Nothing wrong
just
with it.
Business, they say.
Just business.
I think mine would be the St. Louis Cycling Club.
Man,
oh, yeah.
He was just riding the bike in Chicago.
Yeah.
I didn't want to, though.
Yeah.
I wanted to order an Uber and go back to our hotel, but my friends were like, let's ride these bikes back to the hotel.
That's
I'm
when
like, fella, I had like 5 beers at this Vikings-Bears game. I don't want to ride this bike.
So,
that's when you got to push that buddy right down on the ground and say, you ride.
Well, he was like 100 yards ahead of me.
No, that's when you just get in the Uber and say, good luck, bud.
I should have.
There. Yeah, I'm right behind you.
Last year in Colorado, I desperately tried to get John Kelly to ride a bird scooter with me through downtown.
Well, that's what the bike was. It was like an Uber or a bird bike or whatever.
The way the hotel is, it's not that far, but it's kind of out of the way. Like it's not far enough to like take an Uber, but it's not really close enough to walk. But you can, but it's a long walk. So they had the bird scooters, and I was like, JK, come on. I'm like, I'll even pay for your bird. Like, I'll pay for it. Jump on. He's like, no, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not doing that. John's like, nope, not doing it. I go, John, look, it's easy. I got on. I start wheeling around. And
sure.
Like, no, I'll fall. I'll hurt myself. I'll fall. I'm like, come on. I tried so hard. I had him actually like ready to like stand on one. He's like, no, and he just started walking. It's like, I'm done with this clown show.
Yeah.
Who gave me this guy?
Screw you, Jamie Rivers. I'm out of here.
There's nothing worse than getting your ankle hit by a Razor scooter.
Those are terrible.
Oh, yeah,
That's terrible. You know, the only thing that compares to that close is when you're playing like street hockey and your buddy whaps you in the shins with his stick. That's when you two-hand him right across the hands.
I got something for
or
you.
You take his stick and break it in half.
It's a good thought.
Yeah. I saved all this money for this stick.
It's fun for everyone.
Oh, yeah. Fun for the whole family.
Question number 4.
From the 573, if you had to choose between Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Steph Curry, or Shaquille O'Neal, who would you choose to build an NBA team around?
Michael Jordan.
Greatest player to ever play the game.
Yep.
Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
It will always be Michael Jordan.
Yeah. Shaq's a good one, too.
Yeah. I'm
Shaq for just because he's such a marketable personality.
He's dominant.
He's dominant. He's marketable. You know, like... Jordan, as much as he was marketable from like how good he wasn't always marketable from a off the court standpoint.
He made a lot of money off the court.
No, he did.
Shoes,
McDonald's.
Gatorade.
But I'm just saying,
they made a damn movie with him, a bunch of aliens.
Never seen it.
I'm talking during his career. Like, I don't know. Michael Jordan is the right answer. For me, I find Shaquille O'Neal to be an intriguing possibility.
Yeah,
too.
I think Shaq has become more marketable after post-career.
I agree with that 100%.
Because he's a big fella, you know, everybody loves him. But during his playing career, he was, not that he wasn't marketable, but I think you see way more of Shaq now than when he was playing in commercials,
Fair.
all of the general, all those things.
Did I ever tell you about the time Shaq wanted to skate with us? So he's playing for the Lakers, and we were in town, obviously, to play the Kings, and Shaq come walking down to the locker room, and he walks in the locker room, he's like, bend all the way down, and he's like, what's up, fellas? He's that deep voice, and oh my God, Shaquille O'Neal, so we're talking, and then...
What the hell is Shaquille O'Neal doing here?
Then he had those Reebok pumps on, so like looking at his feet were enormous. I think like size 24 or something stupid like that. So then Shaq's like, I want to skate. We're like, well, good luck. We don't have size 24s. So we had a couple of the equipment managers trying to see if they could literally take like a pair of skates, cut them in half, and put the 3 pieces together.
No.
Couldn't do it.
I was about to say.
They can do a lot of things. They probably could, but it wouldn't have been stable.
Yeah.
Like if Shaq knew exactly how to skate, probably pull it off.
Yeah.
But he wasn't really an avid skater, and they were like, we're not going to be responsible for Shaq breaking an ankle.
Yeah, that's...
But he did stand like on the side, and he tried to like shoot the pucks and whatnot. It was kind of funny to watch a huge man like that with no hockey coordination trying to shoot pucks and things. But he was a great dude.
Question number 5.
From the 636, if the UFL folds, do any of you see a realistic scenario where our Battlehawks play in the CFL? Didn't the CFL briefly have American teams in their recent past?
Yeah, they did. In fact, I think Baltimore, before they were the Ravens, Baltimore had a team in the CFL and won the championship. Following that year, they put a rule in that no more American teams. I don't know why they did that. I think it was because
it's the Canadian football.
Well, because I think they pay all the guys in Canadian money, but the U.S. teams were paying their guys in U.S. funds, which made it it was not the same, not a level playing field, because the U.S. dollar is obviously the currency is higher than the Canadian dollar. I think that was part of it. I think there's TV things that were screwy because of the U.S. networks and Canadian networks, and so they kind of did away with the U.S. teams. At one point, I think they had 2 or 3 U.S. franchises in the Canadian Football League, but they kind of got away from that, and then those teams in a lot of those smaller markets became USFL or things like that. Obviously, the Ravens went back to Baltimore and things like that, but it's been done. I don't see St. Louis being a part of the CFL.
Question number 6.
From the 314, what is the best prank you pulled on teammates and has pulled on you?
Jamie, go ahead. You got a great one with the tires.
Oh, yeah. So Gino Ojic was a tough guy. Played with me with the Islanders, and I was well known for pranks and obviously revenge. And so Gino, I was running a little late for practice one day, and Gino just decided he was going to cut my skate laces. So then you don't really notice it because they're hanging up, and then you go to put them on, you put in your skate like explodes.
Oh, man.
And it takes forever to get these little pieces out and then to relace your skate. Like
That's
you're going to be
annoying.
late for sure, right? So, so you're going to get a fine. So joke was on Gino, though, because I just put those skates on without laces, skated out onto the ice, which was not a pretty sight, but then went and sat on the bench and told the coach, I got a problem with my skates. So I made it onto the ice on time.
Nice.
I have a problem with my skates.
Right.
No fine, right? So all right, I got you, Gino.
Good idea.
The very next day, I had a tow truck company that a guy I knew in New York owned. So I had the tow truck company come and jack up his truck and take off all 4 tires and put it on blocks. And then I had the trainers and some of the people working at the arena hide the 4 tires all inside the rink. And I left the very first clue was in Gino's stall when he came off the ice.
That's incredible.
There was a note, and it was like a little riddle. And he's like, what the hell is this talking about? You didn't understand, right? So he walks outside, sees his car with no wheels. There's another thing on his car window, like the follow-up to the first riddle. So now he's like, what the? So now he took him 4.5 hours to find all 4 tires. Needless to say, he never pranked me again.
I don't like me now.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
He was so mad, but he knew, like, if he retaliated, like, I was like, Gino, go ahead. It's just going to get worse. It's going to get worse.
That's a really good one. Carey, you got one?
I don't do many pranks.
I really don't either.
I got another one if you guys want to hear it.
Yeah, sure.
So we were on the road one time, and this is before the caller IDs and whatnot. So you pick up the phone, and I don't know if Jim Campbell was with me or not. I said, hey, watch this. We're going to prank. Blair Atchingham was on this. So it was Jim Campbell. Soupy. And Blair was a great guy. But his room was like right across the hall, like one door down. So you could see through the peephole, you could see his room. And So I said, hey, watch this. Call a pizza place. And I said, hey, I'm going to order large combination pizza to hotel, blah, 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 room, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, okay, great. So then I call Atch's room. And I'm like, I think the place is called Pizza up in Canada. I'm like, he answers, he goes, hello. I go, hi, Pizza here. Your random number came up, and we're running a little bit of a promotion right now. If you answer the trivia question, you got yourself a free large combination pizza. Would you like to participate? He's like, oh, yeah, sure. And I'll never forget the question I asked, too. It was so dumb. I go, who was Agent 007? He goes, oh, it's James Bond. I'm like, congratulations. You've won yourself a large combination pizza. Just need your address, phone number. Oh, I'm at the hotel. Not a problem. Just make sure we have your room number, please. So I do all this stuff. And now I wait because I ordered a pizza that he doesn't know he's going to have to pay for, but he thinks he won it, right? So
This poor pizza people.
Awesome. The guy rolls up with the pizza. And Atch opens the door. He's like, oh, yeah, thanks, man. Grabs the pizza. Like, goes like, no, sir. Hey, you owe me whatever. He's like, no, I won the pizza. He goes, you guys called me, and I won the pizza. He's like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I answered 007. I won the pizza. And the pizza guy's like, no, you owe me. He's like, I'm not paying for this pizza. They go back and forth, and now I open the door, act like I'm the concerned citizen. I'm like, what's going on, guys? You know, he's like, I won this pizza, and the guy won't give it to me. I'm like, why won't you give it to him? Because, well, I never got told. I'm like, well, maybe you should call your manager. Not that guy. He's going to go into Atch's room.
Oh,
Because
no.
the cell phones aren't there. He calls his manager from the hotel room, a three-way, absolute, kerfuffle. Anyways, the pizza ends up going back with the guy, because Atch was like, I'm not paying for this pizza.
Oh, no.
Next day, I go to Atch. I go, the guy from Pizza, did he sound anything like me? He's like, oh, you son of a...
I almost feel bad for the pizza guys, though. They're like, they had to be so confused.
Prank on all levels.
That's awesome.
That's hilarious.
That's pretty damn good. All right, Jamie, that was fantastic. Why don't you get out of here for the rest of the show for that? Yeah, you told some really good stories, so why don't you take the rest of the time off?
Now.
Yeah. All right, it's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Have a good weekend, bud. We'll see you on Monday.
Much. Appreciate it.
All right. Jamie's got to run. We have one more segment for Freedom Friday because we do have Beat the Streak and Biggest Question of the Day that we're playing at 5:30. So if you want to get any last Freedom Friday questions in, now is the time to do it. 314-399-9646. Freedom Friday continues next in the Fast Lane. The summer heat wave sale is on now at Auto Centers Nissan. You can select new Nissans with rates as low as 0% APR and for terms as long as 84 months. It is their lowest prices of 2024. It's all live and it's active throughout the end of August, but we're getting toward the end of the month. So you want to make sure that you head out to Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. There's just a short and easy drive on I-55. And then if you're a qualified buyer, you can take advantage of no money down plus take a break from your car payment for 3 months. So imagine not having a car payment for the next 3 months and you got yourself a brand new Nissan Altima or Nissan Pathfinder, or Nissan Rogue. They're all available at Auto Centers Nissan. In fact, they have over 700 vehicles in one location. You're sure to find the perfect car or truck or van or SUV that fits your lifestyle and your budget. First-time buyers or any people that, might maybe have some credit issues right now. You have options as well. Perfect deal is available at Auto Centers Nissan regardless of your situation. Check them out online at autocentersnissan.com. You'll see there that, as always, any offer includes the 30-day return car promise, complimentary lifetime warranty on new Nissans and used vehicles, as well as the complimentary 1-year maintenance on new Nissan purchases. Tell them Stalter sent you when you head out to Herculaneum. It's Auto Centers Nissan. need a new Beat the Streak contestant. Unfortunately, our guy Jackson fell in the Beat the Streak contest the other day. Good run for the young man, though, and we wish him the best of luck as he continues to study media and everything in high school. So I appreciate Jackson playing in Beat the Streak. But we do need a new contestant, so if you want to play Beat the Streak, you can. 314-399-9646. Before we get to the next Freedom Friday conversation, though, Marsh, you said you also... Jamie had a couple, so we wanted to get to Jamie before he had to take off. But, Marsh, you said you also had a good prank story.
Yeah, so it didn't have anything to do with me pranking somebody. I was the one being pranked, and I have no idea who this was. This person had called my phone and was claiming to be Donnie Fandango.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, well, that's interesting. Because I know what Donnie Fandango sounds like, and you're not him. But I played along with it for a little bit, and they were giving away free tickets to the Super Bowl. That's what it was.
Oh, no.
So I get a call.
So you're right then and there, you're skeptical.
Well, 100%. Well, and it wasn't Donnie Fandango.
Right.
But actually, they called me twice. One during the AFC Championship game, and then one literally after the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl had just happened. It was when the Chiefs played the 49ers the first go-around a couple years ago when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. And but leading up to that, to the AFC Championship game, they called me. They're like, hey, this is Donnie Fandango. We want to give you free tickets. And I'm just like kind of rolling with it. And I'm like, oh, interesting. So you're giving me free tickets to the game that happened yesterday.
Oh, wow.
And they're like, oh, yeah, like, blah, blah, blah. And I just kept going with it. But the entire time, I'm thinking, how dumb are you? Like, how dumb are you? I mean, this could work for other people.
Yeah.
It didn't work for me.
Well, so what do you think they're trying to do? I mean, besides just play a prank? Because that's the other aspect. Like, Carey, when you and I were growing up in the 90s, like, there were certainly scams and everything then, don't get me wrong, but you know, you also had a lot more like phone pranks, I feel like, or maybe I was just naive because I was a kid and I didn't realize some of the other bigger like scams. But right now, I feel like anytime you get something like that, they're looking for your personal information.
I think so.
They can steal your identity
and become you.
Exactly.
Well, they already tried to be Donnie Fandango.
And that's ridiculous. There's only one Donnie Fandango. And apparently Donnie's going to be in next Friday with me and Bradford Bruns when you guys all took off the same damn day.
Well, I'm off Thursday and Friday.
Oh, that's nice.
The Illini opening up against Eastern Illinois.
Wow, the Panthers. Yeah, Eastern Illinois Panthers.
Is that where Jimmy Garoppolo went?
That's where Jimmy Garoppolo and
Tony Romo.
Okay.
And what coach?
No.
What coach?
Sean Payton.
There you go.
Wow.
And
I don't know who else.
My wife, Kristen.
Wow. There you go.
She was Eastern. She went to Eastern Illinois.
All right.
Yeah. So she was a Panther as well. I think she was there with Tony Romo.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're best friends. No, they weren't.
They're best buds?
No, they weren't.
All right, let's get to the text line from the 618. What do you guys think the atmosphere is like in the offices at Busch Stadium after the moves of the Blues?
In the front office or just, I thought you meant like in the ticket office or, you know.
I think maybe
like the front office,
the front office.
All right, so as everybody knows, the show and me specifically, I could be very snarky. I'm not being snarky. Yeah, I'm not being snarky when I say this. I don't know if the Cardinals are paying attention to that or care. Not that they don't care about the Blues or their partnership with the Blues. I don't think they think that way. I really don't. I don't think. I think that's something for the fans. The fans are like, well, you see the Blues. You know, the Blues are, and we not just the fans. Yeah, us too in the media. We're like, well, you see what the Blues are doing, and there's comparisons. I don't think for a second that John Mozeliak is sitting there and be like, well, I got to match Doug Armstrong. He's making some moves.
Listen,
he's doing
Anthony,
He's doing it.
You say a lot here. You are correct.
You know what I mean?
Definitely not saying I got to match Army.
Even if he is, he's not. He's not. He's not doing it. So
I think it's more like, what the hell does this guy think he's doing?
What the?
This is a Cardinal town.
Why is he being so aggressive?
It was. That's what Army said it was.
Yeah.
And Mo was like, no, it is.
Ish.
Not really.
I mean, I can't imagine Do you think that too? I mean, I can't imagine that.
I think
they think.
Well, I wonder if it
this.
does. I wonder if it does have. Like, I don't think that they don't pay attention. I think they do pay attention. I think
from
they do
like almost like a
understand.
fan standpoint. I don't think they.
Not necessarily. I think it does. I think they do pay attention in terms of how they will be viewed in comparison.
Oh, I don't.
I do.
Care.
I do.
Yeah.
I would, Anthony. I would hope they do. How about that? Let's hope that they actually give a damn to know that the team in your city is doing things to make their team better, and the fans notice it, and you're not.
I think you and I are saying the same thing, which is that you might have there might still be some arrogance there.
Yeah, you probably listen. At this point, the arrogance should be out the door.
You would think.
The way you performed last year, you go out and made some changes. Not enough because you're still, 11 games back in the division? 4.5 games? We don't even look at the division anymore
at this point. I mean,
you won 2 games, so maybe you are. Maybe you're closer.
No. Are you in? Are you in the stadium? Are you in the stadium at this point? I don't think they're in the stadium.
You're 10 games back in the division.
I think there's still 5 out of the wild card with the Mets winning yesterday.
Okay,
yeah, that's not great, but you're still there. But I would hope that with how last season went and how this season is starting to finish out, you would hope that there would be a recognition that, you know what, guys, got to do something a little different here. Kind of got to, maybe the pattern in which we have been going for so long, maybe we should shift some things here.
Right.
Maybe some of these younger guys can play.
Right.
Maybe we should give them more opportunities starting in 2025 because they still want to make the playoffs.
I would love to see it, Carey. I really would. I would love to see it. I would love to think that this team is aware of everything that's going on, and
you refuse to believe that they are.
I don't think they think that way. I don't,
Anthony.
So I'm sorry.
That's frustrating
that you feel that way.
Okay.
All right, beat the streak. Biggest question of the day next on 101 ESPN. Mosby Building Arts are running a great promotion right now. They're offering 3 ways to save on new siding for your home. If you're considering adding new siding to upgrade the entire look and feel of your home, you got to call Mosby Building Arts. They're offering right now, again, 3 ways to save on new siding. They're offering a free garage door or 12 months no payments or 10% off that siding. Three different ways, 3 opportunities for you to save. If you're already considering going with new siding, again, free garage door they're offering at Mosby Building Arts, or 12 months no payments, or 10% off siding. All you have to do is call 314-909-1800. Again, 314-909-1800, or visit callmosby.com to set up your appointment. You're going to see why Mosby Building Arts, they're flat out different. They come out, they have an interior designer that comes out. They'll take the right measurements the first time. They'll sit down with you and say, hey, here's everything that we offer. We're going to get it right, and we're going to make sure that you absolutely love your project. And when they start the project, they make sure they're efficient. They make sure there's no hidden costs like other people are going to do to you, other contracts, maybe the big box stores. And they make sure that they're constantly checking in with you to make sure that the project is how you want it. So give Mosby Building Arts a call. Again, if you're already considering doing upgrading in terms of the siding. It's 3 ways to save. Free garage door, 12 months, no payments, or 10% off siding. Call Mosby.com or 314-909-1800. Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals take on the Minnesota Twins tonight at Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Andre Palante on the mound going up against David Festa. First pitch is at 7:10. We appreciate everyone chiming in today on the Air Comfort Service text line for our Freedom Friday. If you missed anything from today's show, including our interview with Michelle Smallmon, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com. or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page, and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there, and it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. A little reminder, the Cardinals are playing on Apple TV Plus tonight, so make sure you head to Apple TV, and you can catch the Cardinals and Twins game tonight. We have Beat the Streak and Biggest Question of the Day coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center Update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
I want to hit baseballs.
All of my successes depend on me.
You ready to hit?
The hits just keep on coming. And his first big league hit is a bullet up the middle.
All right, time to play Beat the Streak here in the Fast Lane on 101 to ESPN. Unfortunately for our guy Jackson, he lost a couple of days ago, so we have a new Beat the Streak contestant. It's Doug. What's up, Doug?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Going great, man. Appreciate it. Happy Friday to you. Thanks for playing. Thanks for listening.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Marshy, what do we got for latest streaks, kid?
All right, Anthony, your streak is at 5 right now. Jamie and I are tied at 2. Carey has a streak of 1, and now Doug is joining the show. And the streak is obviously at 0.
Okay. Let's see here. So I got a streak of 5, huh? Let's see. Doug, these are important choices. You know what I mean? Important choices in my life. So let's see. Why don't we go with? I'm gonna take Masyn Winn. I usually get burned when I take a Cardinal, but I'm gonna take Masyn Winn tonight. So Marsh.
All right, I'm looking at Jamie. So Jamie sent us his pick for Beat the Streak. He's going with Alec Burleson.
Alec Burleson off the table. Marsh?
I'm going with Kepler from the Twins. Max Kepler's big move.
There you go. Did CD give us a selection?
Yes, Carey is going with Castro from the Twins.
Willie Castro off the board. And now we get to Doug. Doug, who would you like?
All right, I'm a hometown boy, so I'm going to go with Nolan Arenado.
Nolan Arenado. He's been heating up of late. I like that. I like that selection. All right, so here's the beat the streak. I have Masyn Winn. Marsh took Max Kepler. Jamie took Alec Burleson. Carey took Willie Castro. And our guy Doug just took Nolan Arenado. Doug, have a great weekend. Again, thanks for listening. Thanks for playing.
Appreciate it, guys. Have a good weekend.
You too. Thanks. There's beat the streak. Now, time for biggest question of the day.
It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
All right. You got a text from the 618. I found this to be interesting because I've seen the discourse on Twitter from other fans around Major League Baseball regarding the Cardinals. I think people hate the Cardinals, not including our own fan base at the current time. But from the 618, do other Major League Baseball teams view Cardinal fans as fair weather fans for complaining about recent season results?
No, I don't think so. I wouldn't think so. I don't know, but I can't imagine that fans in other markets would consider the Cardinals fan base fair weather. I mean, you show up consistently, and we're seeing now some of the attendance dip, but it's. I mean, how long did it take? You're seeing the same products year in and year out, and the fans still showed up in droves. So no, I don't think they're fair weather, or they consider them fair weather. I would think that a lot of fan bases around Major League Baseball, if they were, very passionate and they were attuned to the history of baseball, you may consider this Cardinals fan base spoiled if you live in another market and that market, is Pittsburgh and you haven't seen any winning. You may look at the Cardinals fan base and be like, really, you're complaining? But I don't think they would ever be considered fair weather. I think there's different markets where you might get teams that are fair weathered.
Yeah, I wonder if they think that because of what happened with the Rams. I think there's a certain thought process out there regarding St. Louis, and obviously we touched on it today. We brought Michelle on because one of the listeners on Unsportsmanlike, Gus, was like, why don't you
just stick with the Rams?
Why don't you just stick with the Rams? I feel like there's a lot of people out there that don't actually understand what happened here in St. Louis. They just think St. Louis, they don't really support their teams if they're bad.
Sure.
Look at the St. Louis Rams. It's like that's not the full story.
Yeah, and I think at some point we're just gonna have to let that narrative be, let it go, because here's the deal with that. We know what happened here. It would be nice if others in other markets, other fans in other markets could not buy into the BS and actually understood what happened. But that's asking a lot. Yeah. It's asking a lot for Packers fans to dive into the history of what happened with the Rams to have a better understanding. You care about whoever the hell they're playing week 1.
Right.
So, unfortunately, the perception sometimes becomes the reality, even though the perception in this case is 100% false. We know what happened.
Right.
We tried to spread the word. I was on tons of different radio shows during that time. Randy Carricker was on tons of different radio shows doing different hits, trying to explain what happens. You do the best you can, but at the end of the day, if people don't want to hear it, they don't want to hear it.
Yeah, it almost makes me a little bitter when I would see on social media all these people that flock to support the Oakland Athletics.
Yeah.
I'm like, where was the same energy when the Rams were leaving St. Louis?
Yeah, true. Yeah. Yeah.
But again, that's just me being bitter.
Right. But, I mean, bitter, look. That's understandable,
right,
that you were bitter. I think people also maybe see the longer history with Oakland and the A's.
That's fair.
But I don't know. Look, I think that this is, if anything, let's turn this into a positive, shall we? So we know that what happened here in St. Louis with the Rams and the way that Stan Kroenke maneuvered around the the dome lease and found the loopholes, and the NFL greased the wheels to get the Rams back to L.A. We know that. We also become upset when other people say, you didn't support the team, that's why they left. That's a complete and utter bullspit. But another situation might pop up with another team, another player, in another market. I think this is a good learning lesson for everybody to say, let's pump the brakes. Let's kind of find out. Let's dive into what happened. Do we have this right? I think it's human nature to just whatever we see first, whatever the media splashes first, that's what we tend to buy hook, line, and sinker just because it's first. It's like, oh, it's true. It's not the case.
I could also see, going back to the Cardinals, a lot of fans around Major League Baseball who are annoyed at the best fans in baseball moniker.
Oh, sure.
And they're like, oh, you're the best fans in baseball? You're not even showing up to the damn game when they suck.
Right. Totally. I mean, you can't have that moniker.
I get that,
and not have the rest of the fan base go. The rest of the markets go. Really? You Arizona Diamondbacks?
Right.
Like, come on. Look what we do with the Cowboys, and the Cowboys are much different.
So I was just thinking that the self-proclaimed
America's team. They're going to get pushback. So will we here. But if you also take a step back and you realize, like, this is the best. I mean, we can talk about the bullpen for 4 hours and be just fine.
Yeah.
And people will be tuned in. That's how much they love their Cardinals. So they also earned it. They earned that best fan in baseball moniker. But yeah, you're going to get some hatred coming with that.
It is funny, though, how bad attendance has been compared to other years.
Yeah.
But when you look at Major League Baseball as a whole, still one of the top attendance numbers in baseball. I don't know if that says a lot about this fan base or it says a lot about Major League Baseball in general and how many people are actually interested in it.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Marsh. You would hope you would hope that. Well, no, I think it does tell you that. And why?
This is a down year for the Cardinals.
This is a down year for the Cardinals. To me, I kept talking about it at the start of the year. How excited are you going to be about baseball this season? Forget St. Louis, like just you're a baseball fan.
Mm-hmm.
How excited are you if you're in a market that is not LA, Philadelphia, New York, or Atlanta?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe San Diego. There's some outliers. Arizona, you might be, we'll see if last year was a fluke, right? But as soon as the Dodgers signed Shohei Ohtani, I came on the airwaves. I'm like, really? This has me pumped for Major League Baseball this season? He goes to a loaded team? He's going to play on another loaded team in Philadelphia? I get it. There's no cap. I'm not saying the Dodgers did anything wrong. I'm just talking about from an exciting step forward. But where's the drama in this? You're a regional sport, which means as soon as our Cardinals are out of it, we're probably not watching. And I say probably. That's definitely the case in Pittsburgh, in Cincinnati.
Yeah, football starting.
Exactly. Milwaukee gets back. The Brewers are going to be a playoff team this year. They're going to host playoff games.
They won't be the opener.
While the Packers are playing.
There's a fast lane up in Wisconsin. They ain't opening the show up with the Milwaukee Brewers.
No.
Once it's football season, it's Packers season.
Yep.
Well, a wise man once said, if you want to be considered a legit team, you need to show up and be a legit fan base.
That's true. Yeah. I think
something like that.
I think that was drink yesterday, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Drink. I feel like he stepped in it. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We have Bet the Board 3 stars of the day, criticisms and compliments next. you miss anything from a Freedom Friday here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN, you can always download the podcast, available at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 ESPN mobile app. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Time to bet the board in the Fast Lane. Marsh, what do we got for standings?
Anthony, you're leading the charge, 11 points on the month. Carey right behind you with 10. His parlay did not hit yesterday. And Jamie and I are tied at 7.
All right. I am going to go with I was between a couple of different teams here. I thought about the Twins, but I don't love it, Marsh. I just don't. I'm going to take the Houston Astros minus 125 in Baltimore tonight. Astros minus 125.
All right, let's look at Carey's bet the board. No surprise here. He's going with Juan Soto. 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs.
Nice. All right.
Jamie will take the Twins money line as he continues to fade the Cardinals.
Okay.
And I'm going to take Michael Wacha and the Kansas City Royals over the Philadelphia Phillies.
All right. There you have it. So there's bet the board. What do we got for criticisms and compliments?
All right, earlier in the show, we were talking about fandom, and I mentioned there could be nothing worse than a fan who is a fan of the Lakers, the Cowboys, and the Yankees.
Did we find somebody?
We got a text from the 314. Fast lane those people who like a team for 2 weeks before the Super Bowl.
Okay, all right. You know, I thought maybe I could be honest, maybe a little vulnerable with people, but apparently not. So, lesson learned, Marsh. I won't ever do that again. All right.
What if it's the Falcons?
Well, I'm already a Falcon fan. I would like to think that I'm already justified in taking
That's fair.
them. You know, can you really be a bandwagon Falcon fan? That's going to be tough.
That is true. We got a text from Brandon, our Gauntlet contestant. You got me fair and square, Marshy. That or I screwed myself by taunting the Gauntlet gods. But they're right. Ha ha. I owe you all around. If I catch you out and about sometime, except for Anthony, he can go fast lane himself.
What'd I do?
I don't know.
I didn't even play him.
I don't know. I think it's funny, though.
Taking some hits here, Marsh. On a Freedom Friday, no less.
It's unbelievable.
It's tough, man.
Quite disturbing. From the 636, a great week, boys. Keep up the great work. Love, Minnesota Rick.
All right. There you go, Marsh. You got a little Minnesota Rick here.
I did get a question, and I'm sure there are some people who are wondering if I am a Minnesota Twins fan or a Minnesota Wild fan. That is not the case.
No.
I do not like those teams. In fact, I despise those teams.
Damn.
But for whatever reason, I became a Minnesota Vikings fan. And I think it's because they've never won anything.
Well, also because you were a Rams fan, right?
I was a Rams fan.
So you liked Sam Bradford, and Bradford eventually wound up being a Viking. So
yep, and Case Keenum was there as well.
There you go.
So it kind of worked itself out. In fact, the year before I became a Vikings fan, I was actually making fun of all of my friends because Blair Walsh missed the field goal. Sorry, Minnesota, to bring that back up, but he missed the field goal against the Seattle Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Anthony, it was a chip shot.
Yeah, it was. I remember that.
Not great.
At home.
Oh, I couldn't stop laughing. And then I became a fan.
And then you just
now
said,
I'm crying.
I'm gonna join in on this misery.
I'm gonna join in on that misery.
Yeah. And I'm not piling on because you didn't care. You weren't a fan of the Vikings. But I do have a really fond memory of Falcons Vikings. It was the 1998 NFC Championship game, and the Vikings were massive favorites over Jamal Anderson and the Dirty Birds. I think it was like a 15-point spread, and the Vikings were supposed to play the Broncos that year in the Super Bowl.
Well, of course they were.
It was a lock.
Oh,
in fact, Pam Oliver wound up asking the late, great Denny Green before the game, when do you guys go down to Miami for the Super Bowl?
Stop.
You could see it. Like, there's video of it. And Denny's like, well, if we win. She's like, oh, yeah, if you win.
Who was the quarterback for that Falcons team?
Chris Chandler.
Chris Chandelier.
Yep. Wow. And Gary Anderson, who had not missed a field goal or an extra point all season long for the Minnesota Vikings, missed a chip shot field goal that would have put the Vikings up by 10 with about a minute left.
And that checks out.
Yep. 2 miserable fan bases. Somebody had to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Sorry.
Well, they wouldn't have won the Super Bowl anyways.
Very true. And the Falcons didn't either.
Yeah, they did
got
not.
trucked.
They certainly did. All right, let's get to our 3 stars of the day. Our 3rd star of the day goes to all the listeners who participated in Freedom Friday.
Well done. Thank you. Great Freedom Friday, man.
It really was. 2nd star of the day goes out to Michelle Smallmon for joining the show.
Absolutely. Shout out to Michelle. Don't forget to watch her, or watch and listen on Unsportsmanlike.
And our 1st star of the day goes out to giving your friends the finger.
Yes. If you missed that, again, you can download the podcast where Carey and our guy, Jamie Rivers, shared that. All right. We appreciate it. Hey, have a great weekend. We'll see you back on Monday. For Andrew Marsh, for Carey Davis, for Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. See ya.